Yes, guys, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. It is Jack here. Dave, unfortunately, is not joining us for this one. He is really under the weather. I was just off the phone with him, not sounding his best. I do sometimes see him make these miraculous recoveries, though, so I do expect him hopefully to be back by tomorrow. But everybody do wish David the best in the comments, everybody, because he's really not feeling himself. He did not sound too good, but maybe it was just him, celebrating the Everton win, a bit too much, perhaps. But really, everybody, fan show. The link, showed up a bit late in the community section. It should be in there. Everybody, do let me know if it isn't. It should be a bit of a StreamYard link for you to hop in. We already have a few guests lined up. Champions League is happening, but people still want to get their say in right away on the Irish Hotspur with the Harris Army. As I've said before, everybody, David unfortunately cannot be joining me for this one. But honestly, I've actually enjoyed, having a bit of alone time with the fans at times. I get to ask more questions. I get to ask maybe questions that David's too scared to ask, maybe ones that, as well that I've been too scared to ask, I can avoid. It's just sometimes it's, I get to run it the way that I want to run it, which to be fair is sometimes a bit fun. But let's welcome the Harris Army into the building. While we get some people in here. Rye is saying, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Rye. Good to see you in here, my man. Mick is in that building as well. Always a legend. Always in here. James Watson, of course. Shamu saying, what a goal from Lautaro in the Milan-Liverpool game. Shamu, I missed it. I just tuned away for just a second, and then all of a sudden I missed one of the best screamers, apparently, of the Champions League. It's just typical. It's just typical. Mark, do let me know if you still don't see the link in there. It should be in there, my man. It should be in there. But if it isn't, I'll try to do it again. William McKenzie already in here with an absolute huge super sticker. And it's really, really way too generous. And he is saying that the super chats are not working and the sticker only is. Well, William, if there's anything like Shamu said that you want to say, do let me know. And he's just saying, big up Shamu. He's just spreading the good vibes. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And he's saying he rewatched the yesterday's stream. Really, really thankful, William, and also been so generous to us, my man. Really so generous. And as well, let's just take a quick look at that super sticker, everybody. It seems to be, one person hugging another. It's almost like me and William having a bit of a moment there, which is good to see. Good to see. But definitely really do appreciate the support. William McKenzie, always in here. Absolute goat of the channel. Absolute goat. Chris is in the building as well. Big up, lads. Jumping on in 2 minutes. No worries. No worries. Brad as well saying hello. Even though we're going to be talking to him very soon, he's still saying hello to everybody in the chat like an absolute role model. Big up, Brad. Carl Simpson is always in here. Big up the absolute legend, Carl. Spaghetti Slayer, of course, saying, I think we couldn't hope for a better time to play United and Brighton. Both teams in the mud. 6 points. Here we come. Brighton are free-falling right now. It's weird. Brighton are free-falling, and to be fair, they kind of were doing that even before we played them in the cup. I remember somebody even said to me at one stage, how many games are we going to watch Brighton lose before we actually admit they're not as good, anymore as maybe we thought. So I'm with you, Spaghetti Slayer. And then Man United, I mean, what a shit show that's happening over there. But big up, Spaghetti Slayer. Big up, my man. Ian Cook saying, good evening. Big up, Ian. And then Shamu said, Jack will read the comment. Then, yeah. Big up, Shamu. Big up, my man. Derek Hutchinson, absolute legend. Dan Coy saying, get well, David. Only 4 days until the United game. Only 4 days, my man. Badrul Mazid, evening, Jack. David, get well quick. Big up, Jack. Big up yourself, Badrul, my man. David saying, hi, Jack. David, hope you feel better. I do hope he starts getting better. But big up, David. Good to see you in here all the way from Cali. Carl Simpson saying Jack Clark just scored a cracking goal for Sunderland. Who knows? Maybe that transfer all of a sudden will come good for us. But seriously, I mean, that guy needs to start scoring goals. Ian Cook, wishing everybody well. Bernard Kless, I'll call you Kless. He's saying, what's up, Jackie? What's up yourself, my man? Brian C. Socrates in the building saying, big up, Jack, and all the Flat Cap Army. Get well soon, David. Really do appreciate that, Brian C. 164 Spurs saying, hi, Jack. Hope you're well, mate. Regards to Dave. Come on, you Spurs. Really do appreciate 164 Spur. An absolute legend. Always love seeing you in here, my man. Always do. Welsh Gal, of course. I mean, it wouldn't be a live stream without Welsh Gal in here. Claude Murphy as well. The absolute legend. Fiona saying top 4 is back on. We just need a week before every game. By the looks of it, yeah, Fiona. I would say maybe next season even, just dip out of every competition we're in. If we just keep 5 more days in between every game, we're going to go undefeated. That's what I would say. But really big yourself up, Fiona. John N is in the house. Big up, Jack. Looking forward to another great show. Keep up the good work. PS Man U. PS Man U 1, Spurs 2. John, not happening, my man. Not happening, but absolutely love it. And then Ben Kaufman saying hello. And then Golden Cock is in here as well. Absolutely love it, my man. Absolutely love it, Golden Cock. And then as well, someone wishing a speedy recovery to Dave, which is beautiful to see. But might as well just start cracking into it, everybody. We're going to start bringing on the guests as always. As always, do hit that like while you're in here. Since you're already hopping in, do hit that like for the fan show. We're going to be hearing from everybody tonight on their thoughts on the Everton game, maybe reading too much into it. Perhaps maybe it was actually a great performance. Who knows? We'll see what they have to say, but do hit that like. Do throw in a super chat if you want to stop the show at any stage. If you want to ask maybe a certain panelist any sort of question. I used to do that with Chris, used to put him under the biggest sort of heat, used to ask Chris, would you rather, have Winks or, Davinson Sanchez in your squad for the rest of your life? These sort of questions, I think definitely throw those in a super chat. Then as well, also do throw in your comments, and I will try to get them up on screen as much as possible. But since I am running it alone, I would say if you do want me to get to it right away, feel free to throw it in a super chat. But might as well, everybody, just start getting on the fans on. And it is, as always, the godfather, the GOAT of the Harris Army, Philip Brady. Philip, how we doing, my man?
Great, Jack. Great. Good to see you. Get well soon, David.
Yeah, I would say, Philip, he wasn't sounding himself, but he's made some miraculous recoveries before, I would say. So hopefully he can bounce back. But Philip, 5-0. 5-0. And I believe you even said you've been waiting for that sort of scoreline, all season, and it's finally come.
Yeah, I have. And I picked the night they do it. I'm not even there to watch it.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, we have
watching highlights for that. Swimming. Yeah, that's horrible.
Monday night swimming, and it was my turn to drive last night, so I couldn't get out. I saw the first half hour. I saw them 2-0 up, so I was fairly happy leaving, And but then again, I left the session early to check my phone, and when I saw it was 5-0, so well, here we go, you know. So it was a late night when I got home watching the whole match, but yeah, it was a very good performance. It's what I liked about it was we made another team look absolutely useless, awful.
Yeah.
We were playing with them, absolutely playing with them after the first 10 minutes.
Playing right through them even. Sometimes we saw Bentancur, I think at one stage, Philip, he won the ball back like 3 times, like at one stage. It felt like that we could just bully them.
Like, I do feel sorry. Like, I've always had, I won't say I had a soft spot for Everton, but they're they're up to now, they've been a well-run club and, nice, homely. Living in the shadow of Liverpool can't be easy. So I can imagine the Everton fans are suffering badly today after that result, And and I think another thing what I thought was nice last night was the reception that Dele Alli got.
Yeah,
I thought that showed up what our real fans can do. We really gave him a great reception, and also the Ukrainian sub that came on for Everton got a great reception as well.
Yeah.
So we weren't like the Chelsea guys chanting Abramovich's name during the tribute to the Ukrainian people. So it was fair dues to the fans. They did very well last night.
Just quickly, Philip, I mean, there probably been a few occasions of Spurs fans maybe showing a bit more class than maybe other fans probably would. We did that with Bukayo Saka when he came on against us. We've done that, with the Ukrainian player. We've done that with Dele Alli. I think there was another stage as well where I think we showed some real classiness as fans. So perhaps, you would expect everybody to follow suit like we have, but maybe Spurs are perhaps maybe more role models.
I'm afraid not. I mean, the fact that the Spurs fans applauded an Arsenal player after his exploits in the missing that penalty in the European Championships. I mean, that was very, very big of the Spurs fans to do that. That's it. I'd say there might have been a lot of soul searching going on before that was done, but it was done. And can you imagine Chelsea fans doing that?
No, that just wouldn't happen.
Or West Ham fans? Not a hope. Not a hope.
West Ham, the least likely.
Not a hope. So no, it was the fans, proved that we're a classy club basically behind it all. Okay.
Yeah.
There are people in the fan base who will probably won't even be happy with a 5-0 win last night. The negativity sometimes is frightening, and I'm hoping that result last night will disappear that for a while, but it won't. The next time we lose, it'll be back again, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Do you feel like, Philip, what are your thoughts then? Because a lot of people, and I did ask, David, this plenty of times, I said, is this too similar to the Leeds game where it's just a really atrocious team that we just rolled over and maybe there can't be too much read into it? Do you feel like that is the case, or do you feel like maybe there could be something read into that performance?
No, I think we scored 9 goals without reply in 2 matches. Okay. That's got to be taken. Okay, Leeds could have had a couple of goals. They didn't. Everton, I don't think, had a shot on target. If I'm correct, they might have had one. But certainly, Hugo, it was a deck chair night for Hugo Lloris. And no, I would say you can only play what's in front of you.
Yeah, like Chris
And
is
the
saying.
first 10 minutes of that match yesterday, Everton did make it quite difficult for us. They were on the front foot, but it just took us that long. It took that long for the midfield to suss them out, and then we started passing between the lines, and it was like men against boys from then on.
Yeah,
Once we
it
got the
did feel
first
that way.
goal, there was only going to be one winner.
Yeah, it
So
did
not
feel
just
that way.
hopeful. I mean, and we're playing Manchester United on Saturday, and okay, I'm probably tempting fate by saying this, but it's probably a good time to play United. They're coming off the back of a horrendous second half against Man City. There seems to be all sorts of shenanigans going on in the dressing room. I mean, I think the egos are bouncing off each other there at the moment. So let's hope now that they're still fighting with each other come Saturday, and we can turn them over, and that will really blow the top four completely wide open.
Who knows, Philip? They might not even field the full 11 because it seems like they're all like abstaining from even, showing up in, the team as well. It's gone full mutiny.
Maybe. Hopefully.
It's
I'd
gone
say Harry
full mutiny
Kane
at
and
Man U.
Harry Kane to be looking forward to playing against Harry Maguire.
Oh, yeah.
I can only see one winner there. But,
I think anybody would be looking forward to playing against that fridge, Philip. But, I mean, what do you think? Like, top four, Sean Butler even in here as well. Remember, for 6 months, Philip saying, evening all, great result yesterday. Top four is 100% still possible. Philip, I was just absolutely disheartened, defeated, down, after Burnley result, Southampton result, Wolves result. Is it in fact still possible? Do you in fact still have a bit of a semblance of hope?
Of course it is. I mean, there's 13 matches to go, I think. Is it 12 or 13 matches to go? We're 3 points off fourth. Okay, I know Arsenal got a game in hand, but they have to come to our place. So that's going to be a crucial game. We beat Arsenal and win. We've got very winnable games coming up against the likes of Brighton and whatever. And yeah, top four is definitely on. Okay, if we hadn't won last night, I would have thought, yeah, it's gone. But no, we've got to believe. And as Harry Kane, I think, is quoted in the papers today, is telling the rest of the team, "Come on, lads, no more excuses. Top four it is." And I'm taking that as a veiled, not threat, but as a veiled suggestion that if we don't get top four, Harry might not be with us next season.
Whoa,
as Conte will not be either. So that's why it's so vital. We get top four next season. Harry Kane stays. Conte stays. We are able to attract the players that we need in that squad, providing Mr. Levy finds his checkbook, which I think he will have to. We get to the Champions League. There is no excuse for Levy not divvying up whatever Conte wants. So the next couple of games are absolutely vital. I mean, they're tough ones. They're against teams who are up against us for fourth place. Man United away and West Ham at home. Win those two, and there is no reason to believe we will not finish top four. I'm discounting the Hammers already because we're level with them and 2 games in hand.
Yeah,
so I think
they seem.
I'm not worried about the Hammers. It's Arsenal and Man United, and we can do severe damage to Man United's chances on Saturday, and we'd never have a better chance of doing it. I mean,
and to be fair,
last year and another win this year will be absolutely incredible.
It would be incredible. To be fair, Philip, I feel like even 3-4 weeks ago, it did kind of feel like it was going to probably eventually come down to maybe Arsenal or Spurs. And you do kind of look at United, you look at West Ham, sure, like you look at the top of the table, that's where they're sitting, but you kind of look into their fixtures, you look into what's actually going on around their clubs. I mean, I would not say that they're favorites. I would not say that they're favorites for top four. And in fact, it does seem to be coming down to perhaps maybe the Scum and Spurs. Do you think maybe Arsenal will slip up at any stage, Philip, or do you think they'll just kind of continue plowing like this?
They are playing well at the moment. I have to admit that. Like, it kills me to say it, but they are playing well. And it is going to be a tough ask to beat them.
But Badrul is saying, don't the Scum have to play United, Chelsea, Liverpool before even coming to us? So that could be
maybe they probably have. I don't look at their fixtures. It's just religion. But that's all right. That's 3 tough games. I mean, I can see them losing 2 of those at least.
Yeah.
Which would be absolutely brilliant for us. So, but let's not worry about that. Let's just go out, play our own game, win our matches, and then if we keep winning, the pressure's on the other teams to do the same, and someone somewhere is going to slip up. And Conte has got the experience, and we've now got the bit between our teeth. We've got our proper-ish midfield with Højbjerg and Betancourt, with Skip yet to come back in. So there was a huge difference there. I mean, Betancourt last night, he was like I don't know what he was like. He was like a foreman walking around the factory, just telling people what to do, and he was absolutely imperious. He was brilliant. But I
It's
have
good to
to
see
say,
someone with long legs in that midfield, Philip, because I feel
yeah,
like
it is
we
actually.
keep
Yeah,
having
it
kind of
is. It is.
stocky midfielders in there. It's good to have someone with kind of long legs, kind of ping it around.
And you know what probably hasn't been given enough credit? The pass that he gave out to Ben Davis, who slipped in
Yes.
Sessegnon for the first goal. That was a ping pass, but the accuracy of it and the bend on it took it away from the Everton player and gave, that was a brilliant pass, but it hasn't really got that much notice. And my man of the match yesterday, although, Harry Kane was, again, on a different planet to the rest of them. I thought for his fourth or fifth game, I thought Kulusevski was brilliant last night.
Yeah.
He scared the living
Maybe
daylights out of that left back of Everton, and he really was good. And the fella is coming good at the right time now. And poor Lucas Moura must be sitting there. What have I got to do to get back into this team?
it's becoming good competition for once. Philip, it's
It is.
finally becoming good
That's what we
competition.
want. We want good. We want good for competition, and we want fighting for places, and hopefully no more injuries.
Yeah.
Harry Kane went down after a bad tackle yesterday in the first 20 minutes. Oh God, here we go. But
Any player in that starting 11, we're all, biting our fingernails if that one of them gets injured. It kind of feels like.
Yeah, it's always a worry, and we've been okay. I won't say lucky, but relatively lucky compared to some teams with injuries this season. So let's hope that it continues. We haven't had too many serious ones, and Saturday night is going to be nail biting. There's going to be absolute, behind the couch job. But we win that game, and I'll tell you, there's going to be an awful lot of very happy people heading back down the M6.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm surprised you haven't touched on him yet, but Doherty, I could have had 3 assists last night, Philip. Yeah. If Sonny had put away one of those, he would have had 3 assists.
The pass for Harry Kane's goal, his first goal, our third goal, was absolutely sensational.
He hit it first time.
If Christian Eriksen or somebody had done that, oh my God, it was brilliant. He's like a man reborn. I don't know what Conte said to him, but it's worked. He really has. I won't say he solved the right back, wing back problem, but it's closer to being solved than it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. And if he can keep this up, then it's one less player we'll have to buy during the summer. Because he nailed down that position himself. I read somewhere today, now whether you can believe it or not, that we're willing to accept offers for Emerson. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but
I think it is.
Is it? Yeah. Well,
I think it is because Philip, it feels like one of them has to play well for the next last 13 games, like you said. If one of them plays well for the next 13 games, maybe they have a shot at keeping their spot next season. But you really think about it, I feel like neither of them really have a shot at keeping their spot next season. And if Doherty seems the most likely to keep it, more than Emerson does. So it could make sense that maybe Emerson is being shown the door because neither of them have been good this season. And we need at least one of them to play well for the rest of the season. But I think it still shows that, we almost need 2 players there. But perhaps Doherty is, maybe shoving out Emerson instead of, shoving himself out, which is, good to see. And I must say, even that second or that other goal by Harry Kane, where he even then pinged it over the top as well to Harry Kane. So 2 assists to Harry Kane, Philip, both from Doherty. And both times I think he was making that sort of inverted run into the midfield and then, hit it over to Harry Kane. Doherty is doing things we never would see Emerson do.
It was a carbon copy of the goal Harry Kane scored against Leeds, only that was Højbjerg made the pass.
Right.
It's as if they're working on that in training. Harry Kane ghosting in towards the back post. That was brilliant. But I must say, I'm delighted for Doherty, purely from an Irish point of view, because, he does well for Spurs, he'll do well for Ireland. And, it's a double-edged sword for us. And, hopefully now he'll carry on and, not revert to type in the next match and get caught out of position and they score a goal down his wing or something, because that's going to start all the old negativity again, But no, good play. I read something today now. This isn't exactly relevant, but there's a nightmare scenario. Do you remember back in 2012, we didn't qualify for the Champions League despite finishing 4th because Chelsea won the Champions League that year. And there was only 4 teams allowed, and that was it. Well, there's a scenario this year that could happen to the 4th place team as well. If Manchester United and West Ham both finish outside the top 4, Now, this is highly unlikely, but it could happen. If Man United win the Champions League and West Ham win the Europa League, then the fourth place team does not get the Champions League this year.
Interesting.
Because it means there's 5 clubs from England in the Champions League already.
Which is,
because
it's too many.
Yeah. So, this is the pro. So I read that in the paper today. Now, whether it's true or not, I presume there's a degree of accuracy to it. But, it's just the worry is always there. Is miracles do happen. No, they can't. It couldn't happen. Not West Ham winning a trophy,
Oh, I mean, no. But Philip, they're actually coming up. I'm actually delighted. They're coming up against, not an easy foe. And the fact that Sevilla, people who eat the Europa League for breakfast, Sevilla,
yeah, exactly,
and they won it, the 3 of the last 5 years or something like that. They've won it. I mean, they are, like I said, literally, they eat the Europa League for breakfast. It's almost easier for them than their own league. It feels like the Europa League for them. So I think West Ham actually might be getting a bit of a humbling.
Hopefully, well, we can but hope, and it would be nice if they get if we soften them up next week.
Absolutely.
I'm sure coming over to that game, Jack, aren't you?
Yeah, and in fact, Philip, what's even crazier is I'm going to be landing in Manchester this upcoming Saturday, which will be a crazy place to be considering we'll be playing that day.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, that will be spectacular. So who knows? Maybe getting off the plane, I'll already be bombarded, with Man United fans or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, Philip. It's gonna be crazy. I think it'll be a fun place to land on the night of.
If you get any chance of getting a ticket,
we'll see if it comes to that. I'm already blessed enough, Philip. I'm already blessed enough to be able to see the West Ham one. So if that were to happen too, what a week it would be. But I'm already looking forward to it plenty. But any maybe final thoughts here, Philip? Any, other words that maybe we haven't talked about?
All I'm going to say is I'm going to speak out to the fan base here. Listen, lads, we're on the up at the moment. Keep it that way. Keep the positivity going. Don't let the negativity creep back in, because it affects everybody. It puts everybody in bad humor. Everybody should be bouncing tonight after that result last night. Let's hope we're bouncing on Saturday night as well. But we're Spurs. We're going for it. We're going for top 4, and I have a very great feeling we are going to get it.
Oh, I love it, Philip. Absolutely love it. And especially with West Ham and Man United coming up, we get, I would say, 4 out of 6 points in those scenarios. I think, we're all going to be breathing that top 4 air again. But Philip, as always, a real pleasure, and really set the tone right for tonight. I really do appreciate you coming on, my man.
And listen, thanks, Jack. And you're doing a great job there. And listen, enjoy your trip to Manchester and various other places.
Will do. Liverpool, Edinburgh, London. It's going to be a whole UK tour, my man. Really am looking forward to it.
Enjoy it.
You, Philip. Thank you.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Philip. Absolute legend. Like I said, set the tone right. Philip did. Dark Sun G saying these next 3 games are important for our top 4. Come on, you Spurs. Exactly what Philip and I were just talking about. Dark Sun G. It feels like, West Ham and Man United, I would say at least 4 out of 6 points are needed in order for us to even keep the top 4 hopes alive. That was the whole damage of the Wolves, Southampton, and Burnley defeats, is that we probably wouldn't exactly need as many points as we do in these upcoming games had we been able to put those teams aside, had we actually gotten more points in those sort of games. I feel like we'd be in a much better spot. But now in the situation that we are, we do need to beat West Ham. We do need to beat Man United. And it just makes life a lot more difficult for us, Darks and G. So I'm completely with you. And as well as he's saying, how the heck did we get Ben, Decky, and Goody? These 3 will be massive for the last period of the season. How does it feel to have a great front 3 for once? Few things to touch on there, Dark Sun G. I must say, with Ben, Decky, and Goody, I mean, we've said this before. There's a lot of con Paratici going out there. A lot of people, are, seemingly more, willing to put down Paratici than they ever willing to put down Steve Hitchen. For some reason, for me, it feels like Steve Hitchen has this standard and Paratici has this standard. It seems like we're a lot harder on Paratici for some reason. And yet those 3 signings right there, Bentancur, Kulusevski, and Romero, name me a better signing in the last, 4, 5, 6 seasons? Name me a better signing in the last 4, 5, 6 seasons than any of those 3. So it just shows that maybe he might get 1 or 2 wrong, perhaps Paratici, but all I can say is he's certainly not going to be wasting 300 million like we saw Steve Hitchen do. And then as well to see a front three for once, it's been spectacular, Dark Sun G. The whole point is that we need that third goal scorer. We've never had a third goal scorer. It seems like Bale was sort of that third goal scorer at the tail end of last season. Bergwijn was supposed to be the goal scorer. Lucas is supposed to be a third goal scorer, but they just both haven't been able to do it. And perhaps Kulusevski finally, Dark Sun G could be that guy, but absolutely love it. Could not agree more, my man. Could not agree more. But we are going to keep plowing on. We're going to keep plowing on to Brad Matthews for this one. Brad, how we keeping, my man? I know you had a late night the other night.
God, tell me about it. Yeah, no, it's.
But it sounds like you watched the highlights, at a pretty late time in the evening, so you might actually have a better insight than the rest of us. Maybe the highlights are a bit fresher in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game, and obviously you do want to watch what it's like on TV as well, if you're at the game. And I didn't get home till 1, and then watched the highlights, and so I didn't get to bed till about 3 in. So but yeah, it was a bit of a tiring day. I actually left the house at 3 to get to the ground and surrounding area. So yeah, it was a very long day, but well worth it in the end.
Yeah, definitely well worth it. I would imagine. But Brad, I mean, did you walking into the ground that day expecting 5-0? Was that what was in the air, or what were you thinking?
No, and I have to make my admission here that the last show I was on last week on Let's Talk Tottenham, I went through predictions, and my prediction was a 1-1 draw. So that shows how wrong I was. I mean, this is just what Tottenham do to you. That you have a good win, and suddenly we're going to win everything, and then you have a bad lose. It's what Philip was talking about. So you have a bad lose, and suddenly it's all doom and gloom. Big up to Tommy from Tommy Talks Ball. He actually made a prediction of 4-1. So he weren't that far away. And we all went.
What a man.
Yeah, we all went
I said 2-0. Yeah, I said 2-0. Yeah, we were all off.
Yeah, so no, look, and you know what? I mean, I really, it's winning mentality. So I wanted more goals last night. We were 5-0 up in 55 minutes. That's a goal every 11 minutes. And I thought, we can get a hatful here. But no, look, if you'd have said to me, it is a 5-0 win, I'd have bitten your hand off. So, no, I'm well pleased with that last night. I certainly wasn't expecting it. And that, I mean, this question about beating rubbish teams.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Can we read much into this performance, Brad? Because I asked David and Sean that 1,000 times. Like, I was like, is this like the Leeds United performance? Can we read anything into this?
Well, let's look at it from outside the box, outside the penalty box, shall we say? We beat 2 teams that we should have beaten, but we beat them 4-0 and 5-0. So maybe when we play a team that's better, we're going to still be beating them, but it'll be 1-0 or 2-0. So that's the one way of looking at it. Yeah, look, Leeds were awful, Everton were awful, but we beat them 4-0 and 5-0. It wasn't like a scrapey 1-0 win. It was 2 big wins. That's 9 goals in the last 2 games. I think it's something like 12 goals in 4 games, 12 against 3 in 4 games. And if you reverse the Man City Burnley results, so we lose to Man City and we beat Burnley, then it's probably gone as we expected the last 4 games.
Actually, yeah. Actually, to be fair, actually, do you feel like though, would we be in a different position had we even just gotten 3 points, let's say against Wolves or Southampton? I think we would admit we'd be in an entirely different position.
Yeah. I mean, those two games. There's no excuse for losing your home games like that. No excuse.
I think but even I'm actually giving them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they just lose one of those. Let's say they just lose one of those. I think we're then level with Arsenal when you think about it, except on goal difference. So one of those just needed to be a win.
Well, this is why, talking about saying that we're beating teams that we should be beating. Well, now we've got Man United away and West Ham at home. So now's the time for the team, for the lads to prove that it wasn't just a flash in the pan beating teams that we should be beating. And these games against teams that we're rivals for top 4, which are really Man United, West Ham to a lesser degree maybe, and certainly Arsenal. These are the games that we can't afford to lose them because we can't afford to give them ground. But yeah, I mean, I would take a point at Old Trafford and beat West Ham. I'd accept that.
I think we all would take that.
I mean, it's the same old thing. Man United are going to have a reaction, aren't they? They were awful against Man City. I mean, Man City were good, don't get me wrong, but they gave up. They gave up after 3-1. So there's something not quite right. So it's a good time to be playing them, but I wouldn't I wouldn't go in to Saturday's game thinking, we're going to beat them. So I think if we
it's
avoid
maybe not Leeds and Everton bad. It's maybe not Leeds and Everton out of form, kind of team.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be fair though, to Dark Sun G Super Chat here, Brad, he's saying Man United, Brighton, West Ham. I hope we can get at least 7 points from 9.
Yeah.
Also, once Skip comes back, our final part of the season will be different. A few things to break down there. But my first question from his Super Chat, Brad, is, and I think Philip touched on this, Brighton, West Ham, and Man United are in fact all teams that are a bit out of form. Man United, are calling, their coach Ted Lasso. You see Brighton apparently, like, they're right, like the king of XG, last season, actually aren't the king of XG this season, and are in fact, not really doing as well as maybe people had kind of thought they would. I think they're still doing well considering their size. But maybe not as great at this moment in time as maybe they once were. West Ham, are just a bit inconsistent. And also as well, will be probably coming off of tough games against Sevilla, where they might not be a full, kind of effort, or maybe full, 100%. So do you feel like actually this is a better time to be playing these 3 teams than ever?
No, I think if we've got any aspirations to be top 4, I agree with Darts on G. I think I would take 7 points from 9. I think do we play Brighton before West Ham or after West Ham? I can't remember now, but I think they're our next 3 games, aren't they? I think.
I think they are. I think those are the 3 in that order. I think it's in that order.
But 7 points from 9. Yeah, I'd take that. I'd take that definitely. I think the really important game, because I think at the moment you'd have to say that Arsenal are probably favourites for top 4 because they're in form and they're winning games.
They look good.
2 things. These 3 games, it's Man United, Brighton, West Ham. Arsenal, I know they've got tough games coming up, but I think the next 2 games are winnable games for them. I think they've got Leicester at home.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, I think their next 2 games are winnable for them. So we need to keep winning our games to keep
Not really. I mean, Leicester, you could say, could be winnable for them at home. It probably is winnable for them.
Yeah.
But then it's Liverpool. But will be at home. That will be at home.
Yeah.
At Aston Villa after that. You could say they have an easier run maybe than us because all 3 of those games, except for Aston Villa, are at home. But I don't know. I don't know. It actually is going to be. It's going to be a bit closer than maybe we would have thought. And then for us, Man United, Brighton, and West Ham. Both, though, Man United and Brighton are away from home, though. Brad, are you have any worries about that?
Brighton was a hard place to go to. Well, certainly for Tottenham in the last couple of seasons. That's where Lloris famously broke his arm, and I think we lost 3-0, and then we lost 1-0 last year as well, playing absolutely awful. But and I think this might have been a draw the year before, so we haven't done well there for a time. I even go back to 1977 when we were going for promotion in the 2nd division or championship, as it's now become. And even then, we went to Brighton and lost to Brighton at 3-1 at their ground, so and couldn't beat them at home. So so it's always been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, but not easy to predict. Yeah.
I think what Darts on G saying there, 7 points from 9.
Is 7 points from 9? Is that like? Would you be over the moon for that? Is that bare minimum? What are you thinking?
I'd be over the moon with 9 points from 9, but I think 7 from 9, I'd be very, very satisfied with. Definitely, I'd be very happy with that. And the key game will be the Arsenal game, because at the moment we are 3 points behind. They've got the extra game, so we need to win that game to gain those 3 points on them. If you take it, they win their game in hand, that puts them 6 points clear of us. We need to beat them, and then we're level games. We're only 3 points behind, and then the fact that they've got Chelsea, Man United, those games come into effect there. But if you look at it, we just really, as I think Philip was saying, we just really have to win our games. Just try and win as many games as possible. We can't control what Man United, Arsenal, and West Ham do, apart from when we play them. That's the only time we can control what they're going to do. So all the other games, we got no say in that. So we can say, they're going to lose this one, they're going to win that one, but we can't do anything about it. So we have to try and win as many games as we possibly can, and make sure we don't lose to those 3 teams. But the Arsenal, I think, out of all 3 games, beating Arsenal, I think, is probably the most important one. If you said, you can only win one of those 3 games, I mean, obviously for the obvious reasons it's Arsenal. But if you said that you can win one of those 3 games, it would definitely be Arsenal, because I think that gains us 3 points on them. Yeah. And the way it's looking at the moment, and I think Brian Daigle said this a few weeks ago, he thinks that they're keeping that Tottenham Arsenal game back because the TV companies have got involved. And it's like, well, actually, that'd be a really good game near the end of the season as a, like a top 4 decider, Battle of the Champions sort of thing, Battle for the Champions League. So you do wonder that it hasn't been a real. We've had all our other games rearranged, but not that one yet. So you do one. And they're not in the cup. We're not in the cup. So they could play it pretty quickly if they wanted to. So, so that's interesting.
I think they're saving it for that last, game of the season when all's on the line. They're just doing it for the pay-per-view. But Dark Sun G, when Skip comes back, I feel like all of a sudden, this squad then just again, looks like it actually could be a force to be reckoned with. What do you think, Brad? Maybe last little point here from Dark Sun G. When Skip comes back, do we become even stronger in your eyes? I think he probably, despite Højbjerg maybe playing pretty well last match, I feel like he probably takes Højbjerg's spot too.
Yeah, I think that the team that, if you take the fact that Skip's injured at the moment, the team that played last night, probably you could say is our strongest 11 at the moment with fit players. You could argue about left back whether Sessegnon or Reguilon's better, but I think that's more or less our strongest team. Once Skip comes back, well then that's 12 pretty strong players that we got there, and then you got your Bergwijn. I still think people like Bergwijn will play have something to say in this season, because Bergwijn comes on for Son and Bergwijn runs at players. He's ideal for that, coming on and running at players. And even Lucas, we keep forgetting about Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura can do his stuff,
Oh yeah,
he can come off the bench and create havoc.
Oh, yeah.
So
create chaos.
We've got some options there. I like the way. Whether he would have done it if we'd have only been 1 or 2-0 up, but look, it's Danny Kyriaki.
Big up to Zoe as well.
Big up
to Zoe as well, the absolute legend as well. Big up Derek.
Yeah, Lucas Moura, Bergwijn, Skip obviously to come back, and Doherty. If Doherty keeps playing, the way he's playing now, wow, it could hopefully let's look on the positive side. Maybe, just maybe, and we've had so many turning points this season. Just maybe this is going to be our most consistent part of the season. The run-in from now, we've got 12 games to go. This will be a run, because everyone's been saying that the team that puts a run together will get the top 4. Maybe if Arsenal had their run, maybe it's time for us to have our run and see where we go. But look, after a win, you're always more confident than, if we'd have lost last night or drew last night, here we go again sort of thing. And especially after my 1-1 prediction. So that's why I think on the
more of those, Brad, it seems.
The Irish Hotspur WhatsApp group, I think I said, great win.
You're just going to have to predict 1-1 for the rest of the season, Brad. You're going to have to,
Apologies for my negativity, but no, that was... Certainly did not expect that last night. And it was a question of they all played well. I don't think anyone had a poor game. Lloris, he could have sat and had a cup of coffee during that game. Didn't have anything to do anyway. So I think last night was a pleasant surprise. And now it's all on to Old Trafford on Saturday. And if you are in Manchester, Jack, be careful if you go to a pub to watch it, because
I think I might avoid. It's tough, Brad. It's also as well, the first night, bit of jet lag. I'm also a bit worried that, if I did somehow were able to get to the game, that would probably mean I'd just be abandoning practically the misses at the airport. I don't know, Brad. It's going to be tough. It'll be a game time decision. It'll be a game time decision.
What time do you land?
Say that again.
What time do you land?
I landed around like 11 a.m. your time.
Oh, all right. So you got plenty of time to.
Got plenty of time, but the first night, not really so sure about maybe abandoning her. In Manchester on the first night.
Do a bit of research. Find out restaurants that some restaurants will show football. So just do a bit of research and say, let's go and have a meal whilst we're here, and let's have a meal in Manchester, and then you sit, you go to that restaurant that just happens to be showing the football, and so maybe do it that way.
Maybe I'll just be a bit undercover, Brad. Maybe I just won't really be celebrating, anything. Just kind of celebrate it a bit more internally. Who knows? I'll be undercover. But sorry,
if you go to a pub in London, unless it's in Chelsea or West Ham territory, if you go to a pub in London, then you're going to have a lot of Tottenham supporters in those pubs. I live in a Brentford, QPR, Chelsea area, and there's always plenty of Tottenham fans in my local pub, the Greystoke pub. So I think if you're in London, hey, by all means, come make the trip down to London, come to the Greystoke.
I'll be a bit more closeted. On Saturday. And then the moment I touch London, Brad, it'll be all open, be ripping the shirt open and everything. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. But Brad, absolute pleasure, my man. Absolute pleasure to have you on as always.
A couple of things
Yeah,
before
take
I
it
go.
away. Whatever you need to say, take it away. Take your time.
Three things. First thing, I agree with Philip. It was great what they did with Dele Alli last night. When he came on, and I sort of predicted they would sing his song. But what was even better, I don't know if you caught it on the TV broadcast, was that he went to the Everton fans and thanked them, and that's because Everton fans had come all that way and was still there at 5-0. He went on and he came off the pitch, and Lloris actually got hold of him,
grabbed him,
and actually led him back onto the pitch, onto the big south stand, and we're all singing his name. I think that was just.
They sang the song when he was being subbed on as well, right? They sang Dele's
song.
Yeah,
just before he came on. Yeah, I don't think they sang it when he was on the pitch, which I draw the line there. Once he's playing for the opposition, then you don't sing the song. Yeah, before he comes on, fine, not a problem.
I think that's what they were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, he genuinely looked upset. He did look to be quite overcome with emotion. I got the impression that maybe he didn't really want to be sold. So that was a nice moment. And the other, first of all, I went to as your Americans say, the bathroom during the first half. And as I came back, I'm walking down the steps, going back to my seat, and that's when Kane scored the third goal. So that was great timing on my behalf. And then a big shout out to my mate Steve, if he's watching. He was in another area of the ground, right? He apparently went to get a beer at half time. So I chatted to someone. A guy bought him a beer, so he missed the start of the second half. And missed Reguilon's goal.
The 55-second goal, whatever it was. 45, 55, whatever it went in. Yeah.
Then he chose to go to the bathroom himself and miss Harry Kane's goal as well.
Oh, my gosh.
So 5-0 when he missed two of the goals. So
all I can say is sometimes it is worth it to hold it in. Sometimes it is worth it to hold it in. Maybe just, see if you can push yourself. But really, what was I think there was a third one, Brad. What was the third one? Was there a third thing?
No. It's me seeing the Harry Kane goal after having a bathroom break. Steve missing two of the goals, and then Dele Alli's reception. They're the three things. But yeah, it was. We had a laugh about it afterwards, put it that way. So
definitely,
no, it's a great day. And poor old Chris. I don't know if Chris is watching from Let's Talk Tottenham. He was going to come up and meet us, have a drink, but apparently the trains were so bad he couldn't go to the game in the end. So he missed the game. So that's a very unlucky.
That's
one
horrible.
game you missed. A 5-0 win. So but I look forward to seeing you and David when you come over for the West Ham game. We'll have to organise something there, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be. The Harris Army is going to be absolutely fully represented come West Ham. Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
That's it. One more other thing. Great shout out to the fans for when the Ukrainian player came on, and also before the game. That was really, really good. So I will say, click like and subscribe to this wonderful channel, and all the wonderful guests we got coming on later, and click like and subscribe to their channels as well. And not only come on you Spurs, but also come on you Ukraine as well. So let's hope that all sorts itself out.
Yeah,
peace
absolutely.
And love. Peace and love, everybody.
Love that, Brad. Everybody, I think you can either catch Brad, game days. I think he's often on Tommy Talks Ball on Fusion's channel as well.
Yeah.
I think Brad can be found plenty of places elsewhere. Always on the fan show, always at the games, always on other people's channels as well. So plenty of Brad to be caught if you feel like you did like what he had to say. Brad, absolute pleasure as always, my man.
Cheers, Jack. Have a great evening.
Right. Yeah, you Bye-bye. As well, Brad. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Brad.
Come on, you Spurs.
Absolute legend. And again, setting the tone, keeping it right. And to be honest, Brad and Philip, a great duo to start off with, but we're going to make it a full trio here because we're hitting off with another legend here, another GOAT. And to be honest, I think, Dark Sun G as well has been extremely generous with super chats. So Ben, good to see you in here. Would you mind perhaps, tag teaming these super chats with me, with Dark Sun G? You want to take them ahead? All righty.
Of course.
Dark Sun G saying, I hope Reggie's son, Decky Kane, can spin the fridge Maguire and give him a red card, which is possible, more than possible. I hope we can beat United 4-0 to ruin United even more. Do you see those three causing the human fridge some trouble, Ben?
I mean, if they play like they did against Man City, I think we're going to absolutely wreck them. Of course, we need to be calm. We only beat Everton. We do need to be calm. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. But yeah, I think those four, hopefully they can cause some real damage. And most importantly, I hope Bentancur can control the midfield like he did against Everton. And I can't speak highly enough about that guy. I just cannot speak highly enough of him. So yeah, I think we're going to take the game to United. I think we can really damage them if they play like that. They're in free fall.
They're not used to a front three of Spurs either. When you think about it, they're not used to a front three that can score. They're usually used to a front two, that can score between Son and Kane. But now that we have Kulusevski, Ben, do you think Kulusevski could cause that United, back line more trouble than we usually cause them?
Yeah, he can, but there's an unknown quantity now. That now it's not just a front four of players. We've now got an Irish Cafu playing there. I don't know what happened there. So it looks like the entire team is starting to contribute goals, which is an absolute delight to see. So if we're playing and the team is in sync, we can really cause some damage against them. And I think Decky is going to be some player. I think at 21 years of age, he's going to be a monumental player, whether it's for Tottenham or for Sweden, and he's going to be brilliant.
I think he is going to be brilliant. And to be honest, in the Euros, he was absolutely saucing alongside Alexander Isak. But Dark Sun G, I was watching the Fridge play the other night, my man. I mean, the guy has the turning radius, I don't know, of a full roundabout, really. I mean, he's not looking good. I actually even noticed Dark Sun G, which kind of almost got me out of my seat to a degree. Harry Maguire is 29 years old. 29. I actually the whole time had thought he was like 26 or like 25 or something like that. You really do think about it. He went from Hull City to Leicester City to Man United, I think in like the space of like 3 or 4 years or something like that. And he went for like 80 million. I mean, what a horrible transfer when you do think about it. The guy had barely played like more than 3 or 4 seasons at Leicester City when you think about it. How on earth did they decide to pay that much for a Fridge? I don't know. Usually you don't need to pay that much for a Fridge, but apparently they decided to do it, Dark Sun G. But big yourself up, my man. And he's also saying Gooners will lose their next 3 games. I feel it. We were talking about this earlier, Ben. It feels like it's going to come down to maybe us and the scum. Do you think that's true, or do you think maybe West Ham or Man United might be in the mix?
I think it's going to come between us and the Arsenal. I think they look a really decent team with some really great young players. They look a really decent team. So they've got some tough games. It depends if their manager is elite enough to get them through those games and whether they can stomach those big games. But all we need to do, let's not focus on the Arsenal. Let's focus on us and try and win as many games as possible. I think that's part of the reason we're tripping up, is we're looking too far in the future. We need to focus game by game, match by match, minute by minute, and let's get through these. We can't rest on our laurels. We've got to focus on the next team. But if they do lose the next 3 games, I'll be as happy as anyone on the planet. So yeah,
I would as well.
Let's keep calm.
Let's keep calm. Dark Sun G as well saying Gooners face West Ham and Man United next month. I hope by then we run away from West Ham and Man U. So even if those 2 beat Gooners, it only affects the Gooners. I am with you there, Dark Sun G. What are your thoughts, Ben? Because you kind of look at our fixture list, it is quite tough. At the same time, though, you feel like we do kind of have, like we said before, Man United, West Ham, Brighton. If we got 7 out of 9 points, like Dark Sun G said, even 6 out of 9 points, I don't know. I feel like that'd actually be quite, something that could help us out. Do you feel like maybe Spurs' upcoming fixture list, while it may be tough, is actually quite doable to a degree? And actually, if we do play consistent, we could actually pull ourselves back into this sort of race, because the damage was done, I feel like, with Burnley, Southampton, and Wolves, almost irrecoverable, it felt like. But now we find ourselves with that opportunity again. Do you feel like maybe Spurs could actually, have a decent, point, tally after these next 3 matches? Do you think 7 out of 9 points is possible?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got the team with players coming back into the team with Bentancur, and hopefully Skip's back. If we can play Skip and Bentancur in a midfield, I think we can beat any team in the league. We've already shown we can beat the best team in the league. Let's believe, be calm. But I think if United, Arsenal, and West Ham can draw their games, that's most important, because that'll give them a full sense of security. If they lose, they might bounce back. So let's hope they all draw against each other and we can just sort of ghost into the top 4 and just be a submarine.
He's also saying West Ham faced City and Chelsea in their last 5 games. I'm honest, Darks and Jeep. West Ham, they don't have a chance anymore. They really don't.
They don't.
2 games, and they have played 2 more games than us, Ben. Like they upcoming against Sevilla, which is, we all know, is probably going to be a spanking. I don't know. Like, I think West Ham are they're at the top of the table, but 2-3 weeks time, they're not going to be there anymore. That's my thought. I think it's already over for them.
Yeah, it's over for them. They've stopped scoring goals. Antonio's no longer on fire. They've lost Bowen now, who's probably their most important player. And I think Bowen's injured.
That is their most important player.
Yeah. I think Bowen's got an injury. So I think they will start to drop, which is sad. I always like to see West Ham just so when they fly so high and then they fade and die, and it's always funny.
You wish they flew a bit closer to the sun, I guess is what you're saying. You wish they got a bit closer.
It's always good to see the glue melt from their wings like Icarus. But all we got to do is focus on ourselves. We've just got to focus on ourselves and get as many points as possible. If we get 7 points out of 9, I'll be very happy, and we can look towards the end of the season. So
definitely love it. And then just another one here, Ben, I really do appreciate you, my man. Dark Sun G again in here saying, I'm looking forward to Liverpool because we have Cootie, Ben, Decky, and probably Skip this time, which will be a huge plus for us. I want a win over them for once. That will be away from home, which is almost damn near impossible to beat Liverpool away from home. I think the last time it was done was like Fulham or something like that was the last team to do it. So if we were to be that team, I mean, that's almost, I hate to say it, a trophy in itself. I'm not even kidding. But what do you say, Ben? Like, with Skip coming back into that lineup, perhaps, maybe Bentancur and Skip together, I think could be a better combination than maybe Højbjerg and Bentancur. Do you give us a chance to get a point maybe against Liverpool? Because I think 3 points, I think we might as well just start running naked through the streets if we got 3 points, but could a point be possible?
There's always a possibility. I mean, we went to Man City and beat them. If we can beat Man City, we can beat Liverpool. Liverpool are an incredible team. I think Liverpool are a bogey team for us in terms of however well we play, they always seem to find a way against us. I don't understand it, but Liverpool are an unbelievable football team and they're hitting really good form. So if we get a point out of them, I'll be over the moon almost, because that is a hard game. That's a very difficult game, and they're starting to hit form with Dias and Salah, and all their top draw players are hitting form at the moment.
Yeah.
So all we need to do is we need to be positive, like we were when we played them at home. If we play like we did then, and perhaps if we were best finishers on that day, we could have beat them. So we just got to keep it calm, play a decent system, and we can take the game to them. As long as we don't turtle and let them come at us, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we will be all right. And just a quick follow-up, Ben, because Darkstone G's been so incredibly generous here.
Bloody generous, Darkstone J. Big up that man.
And he's practically running the show himself, I feel like, coming up with all the good talking points here. But do you feel like Skip comes back, maybe fully fit like Bentancur was, do you feel like he just takes Højbjerg's spot right away? As much as I am a big Højbjerg fan, Ben, I think he does.
Unfortunately, as much as I like Højbjerg, Bentancur shows there's levels. He's
above Ben. Bentancur's above him, and then I think we're starting to see this season Skip could even be above Højbjerg. Does he walk right back into the team? As much as I want to say no, I think he does.
I don't think he walks into the team, but if he's fully fit and Bentancur's fully fit, that's your two in midfield for a 3-4-3. That offers defensive stability with Skip and the pace, and it offers leadership and guile and sparkly, whatever he's got. He's magic. He's a Rolls Royce of a player. He is Bentancur. And the most important thing what I saw from Bentancur is he showed that he's better leader than Højbjerg. Højbjerg most of the time is just shouting aimlessly, I'll do this. No, Bentancur's he's conducting. It's almost like having Conte in midfield. All right, you do this, you do that. Control. You're going to sit here. They've got the ball. He controls the game. He's not aimlessly shouting and saying, "Oh, let's go for." He's control, and that's the difference between Højbjerg, who's a good player, and Bentancur, who's a fantastic player. It's levels. There's 2-3 levels. As much as we like Højbjerg, But
I think, like you said, actually perfectly. Bentancur, more maybe a conductor, for a Phantom of the Opera, where, Højbjerg at the end of the day, maybe a bit more of kind of a metal kind of headbanger, sort of kind of guy. And, I think we all need those sort of headbangers in the team. But, you do need more of the Bentancurs, the classy conductors in the midfield where, maybe Højbjerg's, that, raw kind of death metal sort of kind of guy in the midfield, maybe. You do need a bit of both, but with Skip coming back, I'm with you, Ben. I think it only makes sense. And Dark Sun G, really do appreciate the massive support. Absolutely throwing them in there. And honestly, you've run the show so far, Dark Sun G. I can't wait to have you alongside David and I at one stage when you do decide to come on out. But we really do appreciate support. And like I said, Dark Sun G, making my life actually easier by running the show practically. So big yourself up, my man. But Ben, I think there hasn't been enough praise, brought up today. Doherty almost had 3 assists against Everton. Almost 3. 2 to Harry Kane. 1 should have been finished by Son. The fact that Doherty almost had 3 assists in 1 game alone, I think is absurd. How can we even explain this, considering if you had told me that 2 weeks ago, Ben, I would have slapped you.
I mean, we had a good, not heated. It was a discussion last week about Doherty versus Emerson. And I was trying to allude to the point that Doherty is not a good football player, and nor is Emerson. But Doherty offers something. He offers something going forward, and now Conte is getting that out of him. He's got this sort of attacking mindset, Doherty, and it's now starting to come out in the games. And he's starting to show if he gets forward and there's good cover, which is Romero covering and Decky covering, because they're both fighting for that team. They're fighting for that right-hand side. Doherty can be a real animal. If he gets into certain positions, he can score goals and he can make goals. The pass for Harry Kane, sublime. The pass for the second Kane goal, sublime. If he keeps on getting that and he keeps this momentum going, he's in the team next year. He's in the team because he shows he can be a danger. If he gets in the box, he's a danger because he's a big, tall lump. He's really strong. He's aggressive. And he can be a player for us. He can be like this unknown quantity, and he's doing really well. So long may it continue. I've slated Doherty a lot, mostly at the expense of Dermot, just because just a hit him with the Irish thing, because he gives me the Irish thing. It's like, nah, it's Doherty. But big up Dermot. It's just like, I want to see him play well. I want to see every player playing well.
Yeah.
And if they're playing well, I'm over the moon for them. It's just we need to get every single player playing out of their skin. And I think he's starting to do that. He's playing unbelievable. He was possibly man of the match yesterday. I would still give it to Bentancur because I'm a massive Bentancur fan. Just the way he leads the football team, which he could be captain Bentancur. He could be a captain, but he's just that good. He
seems more the leader by example, though. It seems like the leader by example, kind of like what Son and Kane are. Leaders by example.
No, but he's telling people what to do. He's conducting the midfield. He's telling people where they need to go, where they need to, who needs to stay, who needs to go, and he's putting ball. For me, it's perfect.
And he's a new signing when you think about it. So Ben, you're actually spot on. I just realized, because do you really like even a Højbjerg? Maybe he comes right into the team. It's not like he all of a sudden is just barking at everybody, telling them what to do. The fact that Bentancur is already sort of doing that maybe suggests he is actually perhaps a bit similar to that Højbjerg kind of leader, where he's not even exactly like, a player that's been around for a while, and he's already kind of telling players where to stand, where to be. Maybe that is the sign that we already are getting another leader. I hadn't thought about it that way, Ben. You're spot on.
I mean, I just think it's a brilliant sign, and hopefully we can sign more Juventus rejects. If we sign every Juventus
three
reject,
more. I'll take 3 more.
I will take 3 more. Just give them all. They're clearly poor. They're bad. Give them all. Give us all the Juventus rejects, because
I can't wait to have Chris on later for that. Because Chris is just gonna. Chris might as well just he might as well become a Juventus fan, so he can start giving us all the Juventus rejects. Absolutely love it. But Gaurav, don't worry, my man. I was actually gonna get to the super chat a bit later, but might as well do it now. He says 3 important matches we have are Man U, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Sorry about that, Gaurav. Just had a lot more to get through, my man. But Man United, I think, has to be a win, Ben. Liverpool, I'm not expecting anything. Arsenal, it's just got to be 3 points. So I think Man United, though, like, let's be honest, like, it is away from home, so maybe saying it needs to be 3 points could be a bit, a lot to ask, but I don't know. Like, I think it has to be 4 points bare minimum. 4 points bare minimum. 4 points bare minimum.
Yeah.
I would say.
I
don't even know if that's enough, though, which is actually this scary thing. I think it needs to be something like 6 points because that's what it probably would take in order to get into top 4, even top 5 to a degree. But I don't know. Like, I think Liverpool is the only one I'm not expecting anything from Gaurav, but big yourself up. I mean, I do really appreciate support, my man. Sorry about not getting to that sooner enough. Amir Sardar is in the house as well. I think he's also showing up for the fan show, saying, evening all, Dark Sun G, top quality comment, the fridge. Oh, I mean, he is a human fridge, Ben. I'll be honest. Like, Dark Sun G is not wrong. And I'm looking forward to even seeing Harry. If Harry Kane could, gracefully run past Michael Keane, what is he going to be doing against Harry Maguire? I mean, it's only going to be scary. But that Man United defense, Ben, it's kind of tough. I feel like Man United, that actually probably is the best way to get at them. I feel like they're still quite lethal, going forward. We saw that goal Jadon Sancho scored. And to be honest, I was kind of like, yeah, they can still do that even when, they are really bad. But that defense, I feel like, is where we could actually take advantage of them.
Yeah. If we can split that defense, they're done for. I don't think I was listening to Izan yesterday on our show, and he said that I think Varane's injured, possibly. I think Varane might miss the game. And if we can split those 3 centre-backs, I don't even know if they will play with 3 centre-backs, because he plays 4-2-2-2, doesn't he? He plays the Gegenpress system.
Yeah, he does that Leipzig system, yeah.
If we split those 2 centre-backs, which will be Lindelof and Maguire, they are done for. I don't even know who's playing right back for Man. That's how poor this Man United team is. If you told me 10 years ago, I wouldn't know the starting back line of Man United. They are poor. If we can split them and start pinging balls in with Decky filling in, and we can cause them real problems. Just need to split those defenders and bring them out. Let Harry Kane drop in deep and put balls over the box, and they're done for.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
They just need to split them.
And to be fair, actually, as well, it doesn't even look like they're even doing that sort of press, Ben. In fact, like, they seem to keep a high line, but they don't even press very much. So you could say, I don't know, maybe I could make a conjecture here, Ben, but that Man United defense is actually a defense that has been waiting, maybe Man City did, to just just open it up and just absolutely destroy it. I feel like it could be a bit similar to that Everton defense where, maybe it hasn't been spoken about, but, a team that actually maybe is due a spanking, from another team, I think, Man United.
This is a team that's not listening to its football manager because they know he's not going to be in the job in the summer. They don't care. These are a bunch of mercenaries, and I feel sorry for Rangnick, really, because he is actually a very good football coach, but this is a team that's going to be absolutely annihilated if they don't back up their ideas. So let's hope they're not listening to him. Let's hope they don't do it. Let's hope they've got no bees in their bonnet, and let's hope they don't listen and we batter them. That's what I hope.
That's what I hope as well, Ben. That's what I hope as well. Just 2 more questions here for you, Ben. What are your thoughts, maybe on, this defense? Is it looking better? Is it looking, the same? Because again, with this whole Everton, performance, I'm thinking it's really similar to Leeds United in that sort of performance. Is this a result that you are going to read a lot into, not very much into? Are there some questions about the defense? I mean, what are your thoughts? Because I am still a bit worried after that performance, because as great as it was, I do feel like Everton are really bad, and maybe it doesn't say a lot about us.
I mean, they were the worst team I've seen in a long time. I've seen some.
Do you think they were worse than Leeds? I think they were.
Yeah, they were worse. Leeds offered something going forward. They didn't offer anything. Keep calm. I mean, if we play our best back 3, I don't see too many mistakes. And if we got Bentancur and Skip in front of them, I think we'll be fine. It's whether the only problem is not the first 11. The first 11 is fine. It's the squad that's the problem. We've got too many players in the squad that are just not good enough. With the Winkses, the Emersons, there's too many of them. There's not enough firepower coming off the bench to win us a game. And if we play our first 11, we can do really well.
I think, yeah, I do
We just
agree. I
need to
think if
keep calm.
Yeah, it is a bit of a need to keep calm.
Yeah.
And, as well as away from home, you could say that they could get a bit rattled. Perhaps that United, crowd, Ben, I'm a bit worried, they will not tolerate losing to Spurs, especially away from, especially at home, losing to Spurs. So I'm almost a bit worried that the Man United players, despite, I think, being terrible and despite, not playing for their manager, who knows, like a defeat to Spurs, at home, kind of think like maybe that's one of those games that maybe they just turn up for, just to save the embarrassment. Do you think that could happen? Do you think maybe despite Man United not really having a good dressing room, this is a potential embarrassing result for them? Do you think the players would show up just to avoid it?
I think they won't show up just to get the manager sacked. That's what I think about this Man United team.
Good answer.
I think they've down tools. It's clear to me they've down tools. They are useless, and we need to be getting at least a result out of them. If they turn up, they've got some unbelievable football players. But when you see like their shining light in Marcus Rashford be linked with leaving, imagine Marcus Rashford leaving Man United. You would not have thought that. People were asking for him to get a knighthood a year ago. Probably still asking for him to get a knighthood. He does bloody well deserves one. But he's thinking of leaving Man United. That if he leaves, everything's going to collapse.
Because he's the face, and he's a local lad.
Local
everything.
Lad. Everyone loves him. He's great for charity. He went up against the government. He's a great chap. And if there are rumours that he wants to leave, they've got problems. Or we just got to make sure we turn up, we give them a game, we don't make any stupid mistakes, and we'll win the football match. It's very simple because they are in disarray at the moment.
They are in disarray. And perhaps, I don't want to make this a Man United show, but does that worry you, not worry you, does that maybe say, actually a lot about what's maybe happening behind the scenes there? Because like you said, Marcus Rashford, someone who's, come onto the scene, and perhaps even kind of rejuvenated that squad when he had that spectacular debut kind of season with them. And now all of a sudden he looks like he doesn't even like football anymore. It looks like he doesn't even want to play for his boyhood club. It just doesn't even seem like he's enjoying his career at this moment in time. Do you think that is all maybe perhaps that Man United toxicity that could be happening in the back room?
I think it's a problem with football in general. There are too many young players that are getting too much money and too much power and too much influence too quickly. So in the good old days, I'm sounding like on Tottenham Tantrum Gold now. Players would build up, and then when they hit their prime, that was when they were at the peak of their powers. Football players in general, the Delis, the Rashfords, the Phil Fodens, the Grealishes, they're getting too much too quickly. They're just getting too big for their boots. There's no one guiding them, and I don't want Rashford to leave Man United because he should be a Man United legend. He should be a football legend just for what he's done for orphans and kids and the food banks and all that. He should be a legend just for that. Yeah. So to see him wanting to leave his boyhood club it's a great shame. But hopefully we can fucking batter them and make use of it, because kick them while they're down. If there's one team I want to kick while they're down, it's Manchester United.
I feel the same way.
They've made me miserable in so many games, and now let's kick them while they're down.
And even as an American, Ben, to be honest, it's the easiest, club to be a fan of without even doing your homework, to be fair as well. So I don't know. I just have no time for them. I'd love to see them crumble. I have no sympathy for whatever happens over there. Jerome saying, evening lads. After I watched the Everton game, I was angry, thinking, where was that performance in the FA Cup? We beat a struggling Everton, but cannot beat a championship team. This all comes down to the inconsistency, Ben. Will we be seeing more of that inconsistency come Saturday? Because that's been the talking point with everybody. It feels like it's, win-loss, 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 win-loss with the squad. Will we finally, get 2 wins maybe on the bounce?
I hope so.
Or at least a draw.
Yeah, I think the Middlesbrough result was almost a red herring because it was their special night. It was us going against a Chris Wilder team, and we never do well against Chris Wilder. The stars aligned for Middlesbrough that night. We didn't have Bentancur in midfield. We had Harry Winks and his six attempts at making a bloody tackle and not failing. I think it's a red herring. It's in the back of my head, but I think against a big team like Man United, I think we will turn up. We usually turn up against the big name teams. That's been the problem this season. We don't turn up against the somewhat smaller teams. We always turn up against the big boys.
We seem to like being underdogs, or we seem to like, I don't know if it's underdogs. We just seem to like coming up against an opponent that's actually tougher to play against, you would actually say, Ben. It seems like easier opponents where we're expected to win. They just don't know what to do with themselves. It feels like the boys. In fact, they like to play against teams that they're expected to, perhaps lose to.
United will not put 10 men behind the ball at Old Trafford, and that suits us. If they put 10 men behind the ball against Tottenham, they will be booed out the building.
Good point.
So they will not be putting 10. They will not be putting 10 men behind the ball. Otherwise, it will be a cauldron of toxicity.
And that plays into our hands.
Yeah.
That plays into our
hands.
And we've even said, Ben, I think someone put it at the end of the last game, like, why is it that every manager that has lost to us are so naive to, why don't they just for once, just sit back and just cause us problems? But someone was saying, like, some managers are so naive, they'll continue with their system, and it actually plays into our hands. No matter how good their system is, it could be a Klopp system, it could be a Pep system, it could be a Bielsa system, and somehow, like, that actually plays into our hands more than a Chris Wilder 5 in the back does, which is unbelievable.
We're a very strong team on the counter attack. That is just what this team is good at. So if Man United come at us, we'll beat them. If teams come at us, we will beat them. It's one of the reasons why I think we'll beat Arsenal. They will try and they won't want to sit back. Arsenal don't want to sit back against us. If they sit back against us, they can get a result out against us. But Arsenal fans won't want to see their team come up, put 10 men behind the ball at the lane. So if teams come at us, we will beat them.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We're strong on the counter.
I'm with you, and I actually find it unbelievable that's actually. I know we've always been a counterattacking team, Ben, but it has actually become more obvious this season, I think, than others. Even more so, it feels like, than even Jose's days. That I'm actually quite shocked that teams still somehow, try to take the game to us, because if they do, it just only makes our chances of winning even better. But Jerome, I think Ben just gave you a bit of optimism to perhaps, change that sort of inconsistency. I think it's a real concern. I mean, believe me, we'll probably be talking about it tomorrow, maybe on a Kinnicky Answer Me or something like tomorrow. But Jerome, really do appreciate support, my man. Really do appreciate support. And I it's a valid concern. I just don't get it. I don't know why they somehow can show up against the best of teams, and then the worst of teams, they just have no ideas. It's still something that's really hard to explain, but big up, Jerome. Ben, absolute pleasure as always. Where can the people find you? I am going to find your coffee channel. So maybe just give it a plug. Where can people find more of you?
So in the mornings, you can find me on Tottenham Tantrum Gold with Dermot and sometimes Mr. Coover and sometimes you see Mr. Phil Lattis on there. But you can find us on Tottenham Tantrum Gold. Everyone here follows Tottenham Tantrum Gold, so everyone follow them over there. It's a brilliant channel, looking at old games and talking random Tottenham stuff. And you can also find me on my own coffee channel, which in the afternoons we talk about people's culture. It's just a great discussion time to get everyone out of the hectic world of stress. So follow the coffee channel and let's have a chat and just be nice to each other and just be friends.
Absolutely. Everybody, it's going to be up there for a while. Ben's going to be sticking with me for this little time period. So do head on over there. Do take a look at that channel. I think it's if you love Ben, I think everybody loves Ben. So do show him the support, at least for his Spurs fans. Show him the support. And I think if you do want to probably just take your mind off of Spurs as well, I think it is certainly a good channel for you to head on over to. But Ben, been an absolute pleasure. I'm also just going to quickly throw in Tottenham Tantrum Gold quickly in here as well. But everybody do hit that link. It's practically a requirement to hit that link. But Ben, absolute pleasure, my man. Thank you for making me feel a bit more optimistic about this weekend. That's exactly what you're here for. But it's always a pleasure speaking with you, Ben.
It's always a pleasure to come on this channel, the mothership of Tottenham Tantrum Gold, as Dermot likes to call it. And it's always great to spend some time with Jack. And when David's here, it's lovely to see David here. But it's a shame he's not here, but hopefully he gets better soon.
Hopefully he gets better. I think he will be. Like I said, he makes miraculous recoveries. This guy does. But hopefully we'll be seeing him tomorrow. But Ben, I know I'll be catching you very, very soon. And as well as when I'm in London, I'll be touching in on that coffee shop as well. Looking forward to that Paratici or Conte, espresso. You'll be cooking up for me. But Ben, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you next time on this channel, my man.
Thank you for having me, sir, as always.
As always. Come on, you Spurs, Ben.
Come on, you Spurs.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Ben, what a gentleman. And look at everybody. Brad Matthews, Philip Brady, Ben Kaufman, and we still have plenty more legends to get through. So I would just say the best fan show in the business, some of the favorite people to listen to. Dermot's channel right there, everybody. Ben's channel as well, to pop onto as well. Do take a look, because I do think they deserve it. They absolutely deserve the support. Jerome in here saying, depends which Spurs show up during the weekend. Is it going to be the Spurs that beat Everton and Leeds, or Dr. Tottenham's? Too inconsistent? Exactly what I think you were alluding to earlier with that other generous super chat, Jerome. It is Dr. Tottenham. In the case of Man United, I don't even know if Dr. Tottenham could fix Man United, to be fair. Like, I really don't, Jerome. I think they're in that bad of shape. There's so much politics and just bad, vibes around that dressing room and that clubhouse right now that I don't even think Dr. Tottenham could even fix them. As much as, Dr. Tottenham has fixed everybody, I don't even know if he could fix them. And it gives me hope. It does give me hope. And it is really so annoying to see such an inconsistent team show up. But I'd like to think that maybe Antonio Conte is trying to find the best way to get rid of that. And you would say, I think he has like 4+ days, close to 5 days before this upcoming Man United match, which could mean maybe he might have enough time to be able to prepare the boys for this one. But Jerome, it is just a really annoying thing to deal with. But my conclusion is that Dr. Tottenham, no matter how many times Dr. Tottenham can fix another team, I think Man United are far from fixing my man. But Dark Sun G saying, let's repair our gratitude to Man United for giving us Conte with a thrashing. It's only deserving for beating a team that dropped off after Prisonwood, in my opinion. Dark Sun G, that would be glorious. Is they gave us that thrashing at home, then we give them a thrashing with Antonio Conte. Hadn't even thought about that, actually. We get Antonio Conte. They stuck with the shoe shiner. Then the Antonio Conte comes to Old Trafford, gives them a spanking. That would be unbelievable. Acts like ridiculous. Probably one of the highlights of the season, maybe even one of my favorite parts of the season, if that does actually happen. And Dark Sun G, if you predict that, my man, you are the GOAT. You are the GOAT. I mean, that is ridiculous if that were to happen. That would be ridiculous. But someone who I do want to maybe ask that about is going to be the next guest, and it is going to be the absolute legend himself, Chris. Chris, how are you doing? And also Dark Sun G super chat. How glorious would that be, Chris? Shoe shiner they keep. Shoe shiner they keep. Man United, they pass on Conte. Conte comes back a few months later to Old Trafford to give them a spanking in their own house. I mean, it's just written in the stars.
It's definitely written in the stars, but first of all, we should give them a box of chocolates and a thank you card for giving us Conte. That's the first thing we should give them. Because they kept the shoe shiner, we got the Don.
If we do have the Don, Chris, we do have the Don.
But I am still slightly worried about Man United, Jack, if I'm honest. Because of our inconsistencies, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. But the way Man United are, and they've got the fridge in defence, and hopefully they might just put Phil Jones out there just in case. It'd be the perfect weekend, wouldn't it, really?
The double fridge in the back.
Yeah, it'd be the old big American ice box.
The fridge and the freezer. The fridge and the freezer. I think Phil Jones is more of a fridge, and then maybe actually Maguire's the freezer, because I think a fridge has a bit more mobility, actually, Chris, than a freezer does.
The door just opens slowly for them. Do you know what I mean? But no, I think for real, I think Man United, it's going to be a good game because our front three. And do you know what, Jack? Let me start with the Juventus rejects. Where are those haters now?
Oh, Chris. I mean, it's actually funny though, Chris, because I feel like all I was watching on live chats to Twitter to everything was, they only played this many minutes, Juventus rejects, Juventus bench warmers. And it's like they've all disappeared, Chris. It's like they've all disappeared off the face of the planet. And now all of a sudden we see all these Kulu fans and Bentancur fans coming out. And it's like, I don't remember where these guys were before.
But do you know what that reminds me of, right? I'm going to be really horrible now, right? This reminds me of all the Chelsea fans when they found out Roman Abramovich was selling the club. They've all disappeared.
Now they're all Man City fans.
They're all Man City fans now. Yeah, they've all gone to Etihad.
I think I'm not even kidding, Chris. I've actually even heard, rumors about that with, Chelsea fans, because that's what Chelsea fans have practically grown up with, and to see that, apparently it's not going to be the same for them anymore. It's like a spoiled child, it's like a spoiled child, having his car taken away, Chris. I'm a bit worried.
But Jack, you see the similarities. The Bentancur and Kulereski haters have all become the Juventus lovers. Do you know what I mean? I'll take 3 more Juventus rejects, please. Thank you.
That's what I was thinking as well, Chris. It's like, oh, if that's what a reject is, yeah, 3 more, please. I'll have 3 more.
Can I have 3 more your bench warmers?
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yeah. Anyone's out on loan that are rejects, we'll take them too.
We'll have them. We'll make them into players. Come on, come over.
Exactly. But Chris,
seriously,
did you expect these guys to settle in this quickly, though? When was the last time any signing has settled in this quickly?
I think the last one was actually probably Son, who settled in that quick. If I'm being honest, I think it was probably Sonny was the last one who, with any proper quality, to settle in that quick was probably Sonny Boy. But apart from, now I feel bad for Lucas in a way. I do, because he ain't getting his position back from Kulu now. You can see he cemented that right side, and we've got Docatino at the back now.
Yeah. What do you make the fact, Chris? Almost 3 assists. He had almost 3 assists. Like, he could have had a hand in 3 of the 5 goals. That is ridiculous.
I didn't recognize him. I thought we had a new signing.
Yeah, I really did as well, Chris. It actually looked like that. Did you see that cropped photo of Maradona and him cropped together? I think it actually was what we were watching last night. I thought I saw a curly hair Doherty.
But Jack, do you know what? I'm going to sound like Alex Davis now, and I really hate doing this, but it's only been 1 game. Let's see how it does in the rest. So I do apologise, but it's only 1 game. But I think he'll be all right. I think so. I think he started to play the position that he was meant to be and not playing in the flat back 4. So
yeah, I'm with you. I think it is his more natural position. I think you're right.
I apologise to everybody out there for sounding like Alex Davis for a minute. I do apologise for the negativity, but Doherty's only had 1 game.
Yeah, he has only had 1 game, and to be fair, Chris, I don't know, even no matter how well he played, does it really make up for the original
2 years
performances? Yeah, I don't know if it even does.
I'm not sure.
More of the same.
Look, we need to see more. We need to see it against Man United and Brighton and against West Ham.
Looks like somebody's been listening to you quickly, Chris. He's saying there are still rejects, Bentancur and Kulu.
Alex, go back, do some homework, mate. Your lines are waiting.
I thought he was supposed to be turning it in by 2022, but I guess we're gonna have to wait till 2023 for him to turn it in.
Alex, homework's due, mate, and the lines are due as well.
It's a bit late, as well, Chris. It's also 11 o'clock. You figured the homework would be due by midnight.
I know. This shocking behavior.
Get started.
I can't see how you can call Kulu and Bentancur the 2 of the best players on the pitch yesterday, apart from Kane and Doherty. I have to say, played really well. Them 4 players for me stood out. Kane, he's on a different planet. We don't need to comment about Kane. We don't need to comment about Kane's abilities. He's just on a different level to everybody else. So there's nothing more to say about Harry Kane. So we know where he stands. But the other players, yesterday they played out their skin. The first 15 minutes was a bit tentative, a little bit slow, just getting the feel into the game. But after the first goal winning, we showed exactly what we can do. And that's exactly what we need to do against Man United.
Yeah, I think it is, to be fair, exactly what we need to do against Man United. But Chris, I think we have 4+ days, not 5, I believe, really to recover from the last match. Is that enough time for us to get a result against Man United?
I don't believe about kicking a man on while they're on the ground, but kicking Man United on the ground, I'll accept that. I'll accept that, kicking Man United while they're on the ground, because I can't stand them.
Yeah, we don't really have it. It's not really time to have sympathy for them, don't you think, Chris? Also as well, I feel like Man United, someone was saying earlier, Jerome was saying Dr. Tottenham, a bit worried that will show up. I don't even know if Dr. Tottenham could save Man United, Chris. What do you think?
Dr. Tottenham can't do no surgery on Man United, man. I think they're gone.
It's too late.
David, I see your super chat there, mate. Nah. Winky was man of the match of Waterboys yesterday. I saw him a picture of him on the touchline. He didn't look very happy. But, Jack...
You don't think that was a man of the match performance, Chris? He didn't get up from a seat at all. What a performance. Yeah,
that was a superb 10 out of 10 performance for him. But, Jack, I put a stat up, right, in the group chat for everybody to view, right? And there was only 1 person who defended Winks. And I'm not going to mention no names, Alex Davis. So, right? We played since November. I think it's 12 games. All the ones that Winks has started in, we've either lost or drawn. There was only 2 wins. And games without, there was a majority of wins and 2 draws. The stats don't lie. It looks like the midfield can't play with that guy in the midfield. That guy needs to be sold in the summer. Winksy needs to go. Winksy, bye-bye.
What do you make of the fact, though, Chris, like, I know you had that brilliant stat there, which I'm going to be gobbling up later, but I mean, everybody's been calling for Winks to be put in the 3-5-2. Then we can start to see, him actually, lead this team, or, him actually get the best out of, his skill set. Do you think if we switch to 3-5-2, would we be still winning games? Like, is that what the decision we need to make? Or do you feel like he's just going to have to learn how to play in a 2-man midfield?
Nah, left back in the changing rooms, or left back on the bus. No, can't have him in the team. Can't have him in the team, Jack. He's just non-existent. Look, I didn't want to mention the Middlesbrough game because that really hurt, and I was really, really fucked off with that game. A passenger the whole damn game. Yeah. And he's shown it in previous matches far from that as well. Look, the whole team was bad against Middlesbrough. I will accept that. Højbjerg was poor. Kulusevski was poor. Loads of the players were poor. But Winks was the standout poor player.
Yeah. And in fact, Chris... go on.
The game passed him by. Yeah. There was nothing there for him to do. A championship player running past him, not even trying to put a tackle in.
Yeah, and to be fair, Chris, like as well, I think I saw something from like SofaScore and whatnot. I think it was something like all the games that Winks has played in like recently, he's been, in fact, had the worst rating consistently for match ratings as well, which isn't really much of a surprise.
That doesn't surprise me. That don't surprise me at all. So,
but where do you think then, Chris? But then that connects to the fact that everybody seems to be kind of, I don't know, like it feels like I've been seeing a lot of people saying, Højbjerg is not as, good as people say, which I could probably agree with. I know I have huge bias towards the guy, but what do you make of the fact that more people seem to be calling out Højbjerg than maybe Winks at this stage in time?
Look, I'll be first one to I do call Højbjerg out. Because there's games where he's absolutely atrocious.
He's frustrating. Yeah, he can be frustrating.
He is so frustrating. He can be brilliant one week, then the next 3 or 4 games, he's non-existent in the game. And people say, it's because he's with Winks, he's with this player. There's no excuses. He needs to play his own game. But Winks in that midfield he's just a weak link. No matter, you could put the best midfielder in the world with him, and he ain't getting nowhere.
Paul Wiley saying, what does Winks bring? He doesn't tackle, he doesn't create, he doesn't score. I mean, this is kind of what I've always thought about Winks, Chris, is the fact that I actually don't know what he's good at. I actually don't know what he's good at.
He brings the water at halftime for the players. That's what he's good at.
I mean, there's actually a vacancy. There's a vacancy for the espresso guy for, Paratici. Maybe Winks, has a shot at that. What do you think, Chris?
Nah. A Paratici would say, you're sold. So we'll sell you to Luton Town or someone.
Maybe actually because the distance, he has to walk forwards from the espresso machine to Paratici's office, so he wouldn't be able to carry it there. Yeah, wouldn't be able to carry it forwards.
See, now I get a lot of the Winks love, right? Because he's homegrown and he's a Tottenham boy. He's supporting Tottenham all his life. The sentiment's great, but he's still a shit footballer, so I don't really want him in the team.
And Dark Sun G Chris saying, Alex, see the difference between Winks and Bentancur. Chris, I feel like the difference between the two players is so stark, is so huge that I don't even know if one of them's a footballer and one of them isn't. The difference is probably that big.
Put it like this, the difference between Bentancur and Winks is the comparison of the River Tyne, the Mississippi River, and the River Thames, all the seas in the world combined into one. That's the difference between them.
Comparing an ocean versus a lake. It's comparing an ocean against a lake.
Exactly. Of all the rivers in the world, and all the lakes in the world, and all the oceans, the seas, whatever, that's the comparison. Yeah. There's too much of a gap to even contemplate. You can't look at one part of Bentancur's game and compare it with Winks' game. Of course, there's no comparison. Bentancur, world class. Winks, Sunday League if you're lucky.
Sunday League class. Big up.
If you're lucky.
He's jumping in the ring. He's jumping in the ring against Alex. I would say Alex didn't stand a chance against Dark Sun G. He wouldn't stand a chance against him.
Dark Sun G just give him the left hook, and that's it. It's game over.
I wouldn't even stand a chance against Dark Sun G. Anybody wouldn't. But some people have asked about Dele Alli. Chris, do you feel like that was kind of a bit of classiness shown by the Spurs supporters?
Do you know what?
Dele's song. They Lloris, gave him his final ovation. I mean, a bit of class maybe shown by Spurs fans.
The whole of yesterday was class from the Tottenham boys. The Tottenham supporters yesterday.
Yeah.
So first of all, standing with the Ukraine, because obviously we all do with what's happening with them.
Correct.
And obviously with Dele Alli and applauding him when he came on, that is the right thing to do. So I applaud our Tottenham supporters. And they've done the right thing. So we can't fault them. We didn't do what other clubs do. We done what we do best, and that's support our former players.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering, what happened at Chelsea, the same weekend, Chris, I guess you can't expect, all clubs or all fans to behave, in the same sort of manner, I guess. In fact, I know it sounds a bit crazy, Chris, but maybe we should
Chelsea.
kind of pat, Spurs fans on the back, because Spurs fans showed a bit more class than other ones did.
To be honest with you, I don't expect any less of Chelsea, to be honest with you. If they want to be like that, we don't need to show that lack of class. Tottenham have got class behaviour, and especially when it comes to something as serious as what's going on in the Ukraine. So I stand up and applaud all the Tottenham supporters for how they reacted yesterday. So I can't comment on what other clubs do. I can only comment on what my club does. And my club, yes, they've done me proud.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. Martin Walton saying, anybody else getting Carrick vibes from Bentancur? You getting Michael Carrick vibes, Martin, or Chris, maybe from Bentancur? Michael Carrick vibes? That tempo setter, that deep line playmaker. Yeah,
I do. I agree with Ben as well, that he's got that leadership quality in the midfield where he's orchestrating everything and where the player should be, where he's going to play the ball. He ain't just screaming his head off. He's doing it in a set way that he knows. And he's only been at the club 5 minutes, and he looks like a popular player already in the squad.
Yeah. And to be fair, Chris, like I think I said, I think what Ben made a great point about was like he's only just came into the team, Chris. Like you don't expect like, no matter how big of a leader is, like even if it's like Sergio Ramos, kind of player, he's not going to just immediately walk into the team and start barking orders at players. No, it's just not how it works. And to see him already doing a version of it, maybe in a polite sort of way of, telling players where to be, where to, where he's pointing, maybe that does suggest he actually is a leader and more than we think, because he's not really, he's a new player to the squad. Normally new players probably struggle with kind of telling other players what to do. But
well, you can see similarities in Romero as well. You can see similarities in Romero where he's playing at that right centre back at the moment, and he's orchestrating what's in front of him. He's telling Doherty where he should be, and he's telling him get into that space there. So you can see the team now are starting to talk to each other and understand where each player is going to be. You can see it from Romero to Kulusevski to Doherty. Them three together are playing in that line perfectly, and they complement each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Bentancur in the centre of that midfield with Højbjerg. Højbjerg's got the license to go forward. Bentancur staying back.
Yeah,
but Bentancur's creating as he's playing from the back. He put some quality tackles in yesterday.
Oh, he got stuck in, Chris. But like you said, he's also building out from the back, because there were a few times when he was, like you said, receiving it in almost like that left-sided center back position. The
ball to Ben Davies was quality. Absolute world-class. What's a ball to Ben Davies for the first goal?
And even when he loses it, Chris, he wins it right back as well. I saw Bentancur. Exactly. At one stage, he had a loose touch, and I saw that he just won it right back.
Yeah, straight back again. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The touch from Kulusevski for Son's goal. What a little touch that was. Just world class. And he's a third-rate substitute from Juventus.
It's a reject touch. It's a bench warmer touch.
It's a bench warmer touch.
Yeah. And William Kelly saying Bentancur is a beast. I mean, apparently, if they're a beast if they're a beast rejects, Chris, I think we'll take them. If they're beast bench warmers, I think we'll take them any day. We'll gobble them up.
Yeah.
And if Paratici has any more of them, Chris, just send them on over.
He's probably on the phone to him now saying, we need some more of your rejects. Bring them over.
We'll take 2 more of those. We'll take 2 more of those.
I'll have two more of those and an espresso to come along.
Exactly. He's
You know
actually
what I mean?
probably just saying, he's actually probably, it's like, doing, initial trial run, with the product, he's like, listen, Juventus, we love the product. We love what you guys sent over. We'll take a full shipment of them. We'll take a crate load of them. We'll take a crate load of those rejects that you guys have. But big up William Kelly.
But see, Jack, you got to remember one thing. In summertime, we've got Papa Matsar coming back from Metz as well. So we don't know what's going to happen with that midfield. We really do not know. Because you've got Papa Matsar coming back from Metz on loan at the end of the season. So we don't know what's going to happen with that team. We could have a solid midfield to next season, but we have to wait and see.
With Pape Sarr coming back, Chris, do you feel like that means maybe only one midfielder maybe needs to be signed instead of practically 2? Would you say maybe only one needs to be signed with Sarr?
It depends what Conte wants. It depends what Conte wants. If Conte's given what he wants, I can't see why not. But now it's about the team we have. Wings, just stay in the dressing room. We don't need you. It's fine.
Stay under the blanket. Yeah,
Emerson and Doherty, they can fight out for right wing back. I think Doherty's took the round 2. He's going to win that. Reguilon come back 10 seconds of being on the pitch. But I think that's put Cess out for a few. Yeah, I think he might have just knocked Cess off his pedestal for a little bit.
But that's actually good competition over there. That is good competition to be seeing. I like that.
It is good competition. And for me, yes, they showed the team that when they play as a team and they're talking to each other and know what they're doing, nobody could. I think Everton had one attack on goal and it was off target.
Yeah.
Lloris had his deck chair out and his newspaper out waiting for the ball. He had nothing to do the whole game.
He actually probably felt quite sad because that meant he had to get off of his deck chair in order to collect the ball there, Chris. So
he looked at us like, I've actually got something to do. And that was like the 70th minute. It was like, finally, after 70 minutes, I've actually had something to do.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Chris, you might as well learn another language. Maybe get a degree out there. Because he really has nothing to do. But Gurov, Chris, saying Winks can play only when sides give us space to roam. Do you think that's true, Chris? Is Winks actually better against a team that sits back?
No, Winks is not a good player at all. Winks, even if they leave him more wide open space, he'll still find a way of playing it backwards and sideways. This guy doesn't know what a ball forward is. You can leave him a space the size of a double-decker bus, and you still will play it backwards and sideways.
Absolutely love it. Big up, Go Rob. Big up, Go Rob, my man. I would say is against a lower block team, I don't really know how much he really offers. But quickly, William Kelly also saying, I miss Winky. I know you don't, William. I know you don't. Of
course you do, William. Of course you do, William. Of course you do.
That's right, William. I know you do, William. I know you do. But unfortunately, David's not here, William Kelly, in order to, he can't torture David today with these. So I do feel actually quite bad for William because he's just saying, William, not going to get to me with it. Dave's a bit of an easier target. You're going to get Dave a bit more riled up from those. Not as much me, I would say. Not as much me. In fact, William, these are kind of the super chats I used to give Chris, to a degree, to get Chris all riled up. So I know what he's doing here.
But yeah, sorry, William. Winky's been demoted to the canteen, so you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait till he comes out of the canteen for those ones now.
Pick up, William. Absolute legend. Chris, any maybe other talking points? Maybe things that we haven't touched on. Do you feel like?
See, look, we've got some good, tricky games coming up. Man United, I expect us to beat them because they just don't care about Rangnick. They don't care if they win or lose. West Ham, they're finished. You can see they're falling down, their bubbles are burst, and there's no way. Brighton is the one team I fear because they're going to put a low block on us. They're going to try that low block, and this is where our team have that mental block where they just don't like playing against a low block team. This is the one game I do fear. Out of all the three is the Brighton.
And actually, William Kelly's saying, I'm trying to wind up Chris. So he's not even trying to wind up me here. He's trying to wind up you, Chris. So, he's trying to get to you. He doesn't even want to try to wind me up. He's trying to wind you up this time, Chris.
Shocking behaviour. Winks doesn't wind me up no more, William. I'm beyond Winksy now. You'll have to ask Alex Davis about Winky.
Do you know what I think I'm gonna need to do is the next time William Kelly comes on, Chris, I'll just dip out. David will, talk to William Kelly, and then I'll just start sending these things into William Kelly, see how he does,
Yeah.
see how he
Yeah.
handles. I think that's what we need to do.
Ask him about Winks and
Yeah, we'll just ask him the same things. We'll ask him the same things. See how he responds.
Yeah.
We'll ask him the same things.
See, as I was saying, Brighton is the one team that I would actually worry about more than Man United and West Ham, because for the fact that they play the low block. And when we play low block teams, as we found against Burnley and Middlesbrough, we actually struggled.
I think Brighton, though, Chris, like they're actually quite high in the pressing numbers. Do you feel like maybe they would still sit back, or do you think maybe they would actually play into our hands by pressing?
I think after what we did to them in the FA Cup, I think they might have actually learned their lesson.
Maybe Potter learned the lesson this time. Yeah, absolutely.
The magician might have thought that trick didn't work, so I might have to find something else to work out.
Didn't work so well last time. Yeah.
In all seriousness, I think we've got some tricky games, but we need to finish above the Arsenal. We need to. No questions asked. Yeah. There's no excuses for not to.
Yeah, there's, and to be fair, I think the Man United result needs to be at least a point, Chris. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think I'd be happy with a point, but I think
I'm not happy with a point.
If we got nothing out of it, I would be disappointed.
I'm not happy with a point. I want 3 or not. I want 3. I want 3 points.
I love that. I
want 3. I want 3 points against Man United, especially when those scumbags are on the ground. We need to kick him even harder.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see Ronaldo cry a little bit more, and Pogba cry, and the fridge fall over.
But Chris, you're actually spot on. I mean, to be fair, like, who wouldn't love, crying Man United fans one week, and then Brighton, the next week, just rolling over the Potter fans. Then the week after that, popping bubbles. I mean, that just sounds like, beautiful 9 points, of Spurs.
It definitely 9 points is happy.
Popping bubbles, laughing at Harry Potter to, watching Man United fans cry, Ole's at the wheel still. It seems like they actually want Ole back at the wheel by the looks of it.
David Moyes scratching his head thinking, what happened? We were top 4. We were top 4 contenders. Now look at us.
William Kelly also saying Kane needs to be sold in the summer. He's saying, William. All I would say is, William, you're starting to get to me here. You're starting to break me down a bit. So, it's starting to work more than I wanted it to, William. This is starting to get to me. If you throw a Højbjerg in there, William, I might just have to end the stream early, my man. I might just have to end the stream because he is getting to me here now, Chris. He's getting to me.
If only David Harris was here tonight with that comment.
He protects me. He
protects you. William, that was just pure cruel low blow, son. That was just cruel.
That would hurt. William, he's going for the lower blows.
It's going to be the Højbjerg one next, isn't it?
Yeah, it probably is.
Jack, I fear for you. I fear for you on that one.
And so, Chris, maybe for that, I might just have to take that myself.
I can't defend you on the Højbjerg because I am very critical of Højbjerg myself.
Yeah, so maybe I might have to handle it myself.
I can be very critical of Højbjerg, to be honest. So,
yeah,
Well,
in that case, Chris, in case that Højbjerg chat comes through, I'll be battling it on my own. But hopefully you can defend me in the comments, my man. But Chris, absolute pleasure as always, brother.
Actually, that's brilliant. But let's say one thing. Make sure we get the damn 3 points on Saturday.
Big up, Chris.
Absolutely. And Jack, I'm highly disappointed in you. You're going to Manchester. You're going to London. You're going to Edinburgh, but you're not coming to Newcastle. How disappointing.
Because I don't have any tea towels to bring, Chris. I don't have any tea towels to bring because if I had tea towels, I'd make a stop. I'd just get off of the train. I'd throw all the tea towels onto the ground and they would just be picking them up from me. But Chris, unfortunately, I don't have the time.
Shocking behavior. Anyway, that's all right. Well, see, the thing is, I'm back in London the day after West Ham. The day after. I was going to try to get down for the West Ham. I was going to try to get down for West Ham, but because of work being arseholes, they said no. They said I had to work Sunday before I leave. But hey ho. Anyway, come on, beat West Ham, beat Man United, beat Brighton. Top 4 is ours. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up.
And smash a like and don't forget to subscribe.
Absolutely.
And Jack, been an absolute pleasure.
Been a pleasure, Chris. As always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. What a man. What a man Chris is. What a man. Absolute legend. Calling everybody from Winks Out to the Juventus, reject haters. I don't know. Chris, absolute calling. We're just rolling them in. And we're going to hit up, I think, what was that? So that's 4 in a row of absolute class acts. And now we're going to hit it up with a 5th one, potentially the last one here, unless others do come on. And we maybe finish it off in style here. Amir, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is a good one to finish on. Amir, how we doing, my man?
I'm doing very well, Jackie. How are you getting on?
I'm doing quite well. I did just release a video on, all the players that potentially we could be taking from Ukraine and Russia. And, another good opportunity for me to, plug our guy Solomon, which is always fun to do. But, maybe more about Spurs, this time. Maybe we'll nerd about Solomon next time, Amir. But, I've asked this question to everybody. I'm going to have to ask it to you as well. Can you read into this sort of performance? Because it feels similar to the Leeds, 4-0. What do you make of this? Could we read into this, or is this just like Leeds?
It's not just like Leeds, and I'll tell you why, Jack. A lot of our players that you'll see had an amazing performance, like Doherty on the weekend, who played fantastically. They're confidence players, and I think Conte realizes that, so he's managing them very, very well. He's telling them how they can improve their game, where they need to be on the pitch to improve their game, and we're seeing that. We're seeing the fruits of that. He's a fantastic manager. So personally, I think we're going to go to United and we're going to smash them. We're going to smash them. We need revenge. We need revenge for the El Sacchio.
What do you make of the fact that they decide to hold off on signing Conte? We get Conte. What if Conte then goes to their stadium this time and gives them the spanking that they give us? That would be absolutely glorious.
Do you know, I think their club is in such turmoil with their wonder boy Rashford wanting to leave and whatnot. I think there's a huge chance we could go up there and get a very good result. Although I am a little bit worried about, the first goal. I do think we need to try and score early and, relax the nerves up there. This Ralph Rangnick, I don't know, will he be smart, unlike Lampard, and play a low block against us? I doubt it. I think he's just going to try and,
play to our hands, probably.
Yeah, play into our hands again, and we should be all right.
Isn't that kind of funny though? When you isn't that kind of crazy? Because someone put it, I forget, it wasn't you, Amir, it was someone else. I think it was Moondog or somebody put in a super chat, and they said why is it so funny that all these managers are so, I don't know how you put it, they're so confident in their own systems, right? That they think that they can, even if they play into Spurs' hands, they'll still win. But it seems like that's not the case. Pep's system gets beat. Klopp's system gets beat. We see Brighton's as well, big pressing team, also get beat. Is it really just the case? Even if you are a pressing team, Amir, just sit back against Spurs and you'll get a better result than you would play the normal way you would.
Oh, 100%. We know it ourselves, right? I think it's just
we know it ourselves.
We know it ourselves. Come on, we just struggle against those kind of teams, and I think Lampard was just so naive in his setup over there. It's played into our hands, and well, what can I say? Harry,
what do you make of Fat Frank's, kind of a post-match response? Because he even said that he thought they played well in the first 15 minutes, and he even took a little jab at us, Amir, saying, oh, you always get possession against Spurs, in the first 15 minutes. So I was like, what are you even talking about? You lost 5-0. It's Fat Frank, Amir. Even he didn't want to, give us enough credit.
Oh, Frankie, you may as well retire from management. Just go be a pundit or something. Just, leave.
Join Gary Neville.
Go with Gary Neville, man. These guys are useless, and it's funny, because the whole Steven Gerrard Lampard competition when they were players, who was better? Well, now there's no question of who's a better manager, and I just think Lamps will probably get sacked by the end of the season. They'll get relegated. They're going to get relegated, I reckon.
Yeah, they're not looking too good. And to be fair, I think, maybe let's touch on that again. Frank, decided not to sit back against us. We've made the conclusion that Ralph, wouldn't probably sit back against us, especially because I think it was Chris, Amir, that said that, why would they sit back against us in their own stadium? It just doesn't look right. It feels like something they just wouldn't do, even if it's the best choice. Just something they probably wouldn't dare to try to do in front of their own fans. Then you look at Brighton, will they sit back against us? Will they just try the same thing and just get beat again? And then in the case of, I don't know, with who knows? It's just, it's tough to say. It's tough to say. But do you feel like maybe these next 3 upcoming games are just going to be 3 teams that actually won't sit back against us, and in fact will try to play their game, and maybe could be more of a chance of 7 out of 9 points than we ever thought? Because we were talking about 7 out of 9 points, Amir, and it feels like we always say that, but never actually happens. Do you think it could actually happen this time, because the 3 teams we're coming up against don't really sit back?
Why 7 out of 9, Jackie?
Oh, good point. Tell me why it's going to be 9 out of 9. Tell me why it's going to be 9 out of 9.
9 out of 9. Look, we need to be aiming for the top. Like I said before, when we were talking about top 4 or top 6 and all this business, we need to aim for that 9 out of 9. If we get 7 out of 9, okay, that's great. We'll take that. We'll take that. But we should be aiming to win every single game until the end of the season, without doubt. So we get that 4th place. We guarantee Kane, Song, all the big players staying, and we give Conte the chance to just go into the market, say, I want A, B, C, D done, and we can have an amazing preseason and really, really kick on next season. Because that top 4 place is critical. It's critical for us. Without that, the summer's gonna be not so sunshine and rainbows, like last summer with Kane and the whole business.
What do you make of the fact that Harry Kane has come out recently and said that he's kind of tired of, I think he said, I might be misquoting him, but I think he said he's tired of maybe players making excuses for not making top 4 and not getting, pushing it. Do you feel like these are words? I don't know if we've heard words from Harry Kane like that before. Do you think he is like showing them, Amir, that he's serious this time, and if we don't get it this time, Harry Kane might actually, be serious?
Oh, I think he's gone. If we don't get top 4, he's gone. I mean, why would he want to stay? And I wouldn't even blame him. Because he wants to win trophies at the end of the day. He's been in final after final after final, and unfortunately, things haven't quite gone his way. Not for his fault, the Euros, Southgate's to blame for that, and the Champions League final, we could have done a lot better. It was just really unlucky. The
handball rule not been perfectly made for Liverpool.
Yeah, it could have been.
I'm with you. Do you think Harry Kane? Is it just the fact that it is Champions League football is what makes him want to stay, or is it maybe the fact that Champions League football guarantees investment, guarantees what do you think about Champions League football makes Harry Kane want to stay? What is it about it? Like, why isn't Europa League maybe something that he's excited about? What makes Champions League make him want to stay?
It's the full package. He has to be competing in the top tournaments in the world.
He's a top player.
He's a top world-class player, probably the best striker in the world, and he needs to be competing at the very, very top. And if he sees Spurs really willing to push the boat out and to get those other top-class players around him and complete the squad, Conte's got a great 11 at the moment. Great, we're doing well, but we know where we're lacking. It's squad depth. So Kane sees that we get top 4, sees that we're going to be challenging in Champions League, sees that we're going to be bringing in the right players in the summer. Sign him up for life. I've been saying this, since the whole trouble. Sign this guy up for life. Right. Make him a strikers coach when he's retired. Get him into management. Sign him up for life. He's Spurs through and through. He's the best player in the world. He came up through the ranks. He played in all the leagues. He's a model to the kids. Anyone wanting to be a top striker all over the world, whether it be in India or whether it be in South America, they're looking at Kane and they're seeing just a top level professional, and that's why I want to keep him at the club.
Beautifully put, Amir. Beautifully put. I couldn't have put that better myself. And even, as well in the case of Sonny, when he signed that new contract, you could say he also was kind of being shown as sort of a face of Spurs that, younger kids can sort of look up to, especially maybe 100%. International sort of 100%. Spurs fans. But I mean, Amir, like we've been discussing this before, West Ham, Man United, Spurs, Arsenal, these are the teams that are competing for top 4. Do you actually feel like it could actually just be Spurs and Arsenal that are in fact competing for it? Because West Ham played 2 more games than us. They do have a tough set of fixtures. Man United look like they don't even want to play anymore and also have a tough set of fixtures. Do you feel like it actually is going to be coming down to just whether Arsenal or Spurs kind of F it up.
I tell you what, Jackie, I think we're in for the biggest derby in the last decade, because I think
that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think that match will actually decide everything. If we go and win that, it's game over for Arsenal, and we're going to take that top 4th place. So I really, really cannot wait for that one. I don't know.
And we've gotten used to finishing above them, I must say, Amir, especially me, a younger fan. I've gotten used to finishing above them. It will kind of hurt, if that doesn't happen this time.
No. Can't, none of that business, Jackie. None of that business.
Not even going to talk about it. Not even going to talk about it. Yeah, absolutely love it. Do you think, just quickly, are they just like saving up that competition just till it's like the juiciest, till the most is on the line? Is that why they're taking so long, to find the next, fixture for it?
Yeah, I think that's the reason.
I think it's just all for the pay-per-view. It's all for the ratings and everything.
Yeah, TV ratings. They've just lost all the Russian money, haven't they? With everything that's going on over there. So yeah, and I just want to emphasize something Chris was saying before, because with regards to the Tottenham fans, brilliant, absolutely amazing against Everton. The reception they gave Ali, and even more importantly, the reception they gave, I'm not going to butcher his name, the
Mykolenko. Mykolenko.
Yeah, the reception, absolutely beautiful.
World class.
Just to see our fan base with it really warmed my heart over here and made me so proud to be a Spurs fan.
Especially when you heard about what, but like, Amir, I think you're right though, because like I said this to others, like maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves by just praising, us for doing that. But you see what then Chelsea do the same weekend. Maybe we should kind of praise ourselves, because clearly we're a bit maybe classier. Clearly we have a bit more respect, a bit, kind of, I don't know. You know what I mean, though, Amir? Like, it is kind of something that you would think every club would do, every club's fan base would do. It seems like the basic sort of moral respect. But in fact, I guess it's not really the case. And maybe Spurs fans were, in fact, leading by example, maybe this weekend.
100%, Jackie. Unfortunately, there are some elements. I'm not gonna, say all Chelsea fans are this and that, but there are some very dark elements over there at Chelsea. And yeah, I do think we need to tip our hat off for all the Spurs fan base for showing that respect. And as well giving Dele Alli a nice, even though he's had a shocking last few years at Spurs, giving him the reception, because he did give us so many good memories.
Give us more memories than most of our players, to be fair. Give us more memories than most of our players. And we gave him 2 different receptions, in fact, Amir. I believe, we're singing a song before he came on. And then Lloris as well, made him have that good send-off as well that I think he did deserve. So, in fact, you could say 2 or 3, in fact, good moments from the Spurs fans shown. So not even just 2. You could even say 3 beautiful moments. But what are your thoughts maybe on Skip maybe potentially returning? I think, Amir, you probably can tell by now I'm a huge Højbjerg fan. But I think Skip gets right back into that team. I think he really does. I think he does take Højbjerg's spot if we're going to continue with the 2-man midfield. Do you feel like that's going to happen? Does, Skip just roll back into the squad?
Do you know what? I don't know about that, because, when players come back from injury, there's always that little time frame where, they need to get that match sharpness. So maybe come on as a sub or something like that. I think might be, a little bit better for Skippy, but I love the guy. He's an incredible footballer, and I can see him being a future England starter, and he's got a long career ahead of him. Does he, that young man?
Do you think he'll make the England squad? I know Philip made that, bold prediction in the beginning of the season. Do you think he makes the England squad for the World Cup?
Southgate's a numpty, so probably not. Yeah, like
he's blind, so probably not.
Oh, he's. I don't want to get, this is a Spurs channel, but I don't want to get into Southgate. But he's not a good manager. With that squad he had at the Euros, it should have been a cakewalk, and he sat back against a terrible Italy side. It's just
that's a great answer, Amir. Even David in the comments, I can tell, loved it as well. That's absolutely brilliant. 2 more questions for you, Amir, if you don't mind me, asking you 2 more. With Kulusevski, now already practically doing producing as many goals and assists as Bergwijn and Lucas have together this season. I feel like, Amir, we've been really struggling to find that third goal scorer. Lucas was supposed to be that third goal scorer. Steven Bergwijn was supposed to be that third goal scorer. You could even say maybe Gio or Tanguy could have helped in there too. Maybe they were brought for that reason. But now with Kulusevski, is this finally the third goal scorer that we've been looking for? Because I think we'd be crazy to say that we could rely on Sonny and Kane for this long. We've always needed a third goal scorer. Could he finally be the guy?
Well, he's already got a couple, and he's already setting up goals like a Modric, So he's definitely, got the potential to be that guy. And being so young and so calm on the ball,
Right.
I'm loving it. And I was actually at the Brighton the FA Cup, and him and Bentancur were on, and Bentancur actually looked 10 times better than Kulu on that. But I can't actually tell who's better now. They're both.
Who is a better signing?
Yeah, they're both amazing players. They're both very, very good signings. Very good signings.
What have you made of the fact, and then this is another follow-up, what have you made of the fact that someone put in, I think, a super chat a while back, which was, name me a better signing than Kulu, Bentancur, or Romero? Like, when was the last time we had a better signing than that? And we went back like 5 or 6 seasons, 6 or 7 seasons, in fact. Like, someone said Wanyama, others said Son, even they went back that far. I mean, what does that tell you then, Amir? If that is the case, that it's been 5, 6 seasons since the last good signing like that, what does that tell you?
Well, it just tells you got the right man there to work with Conte, isn't it? It means that Paratici is doing what he does best, and he should be having a look. You mentioned that at the start. He should be having a look at Solomon now, because Solomon was playing out there in Shakhtar Donetsk, obviously with all the trouble that's gone on. He's looking, he's looking for a club. We should sign him and loan him out to
he is that good. You probably do need to pay us, probably, to take his services. So that's what is kind of a bit of a rent, that's what the loan is, that's what the loan is. But maybe just quickly, a bit of a Solomon Love moment. I think what Solomon would actually provide is actually, compared to the other Shakhtar wingers, I think he's like a bit more creative than the others. It's not as much of that like dynamic sort of kind of player. I think he's kind of more of kind of a creator than the others. So I think we actually could use that, because we do need maybe more players like Kulusevski that actually do create.
100%. He's a real creator, and he's a finisher as well. And I think, this opportunity is obviously just sprung up. So we could definitely have a look at him. We could get him on the cheap and loan him out so he can get some Premiership or Championship experience for the rest of this season that will lead him on into next season. And I can see him definitely being a squad player next season. He's a very, very talented young man.
Absolutely. Well, Amir, I just want to say, been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. What can people go find on over at your podcast? Because, Amir, I always love talking football with you, but I can tell you're a very smart guy, and I know you're probably other things that do, interest you, maybe outside of football. So what can people find over on your podcast, my man?
For sure, Jackie. No, thank you. It's been a real pleasure coming on, and it always is having a nice conversation with you. Here at Open Peace Podcast, what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between peoples that are out there fighting. We do get a lot of Israelis and Palestinians together to have discussions about things that are going on over here, but we do also talk about other conflicts that are going on in the world. So obviously, at the moment with everything that's going on in the Ukraine, we just had an episode with someone who has family members out in Kharkiv in eastern Ukraine and actually lived out in Russia. So please do check it out. Every subscriber really does mean the world to us. And we really are trying to just build bridges, build relationships, and get people talking and understand that the world will be a much better place if we're nice and peaceful, everyone enjoying the football, having a little beer on the weekend, and not worrying about other things.
Yeah, beautifully put, Amir. And as I would say, if you can't already tell, Amir clearly is a very, very smart guy, has unbelievable things to say regarding football. So I bet, when it comes to other topics as well, he certainly knows what he's talking about, and he has good things to say. So if you really liked what Amir has to say, like I do, and like I always say do head on over to his podcast, because I know he really appreciates that support. And also just to show support to a fellow Spurs fan, even just give the subscribe to a fellow Spurs fan. It really doesn't take you any effort, doesn't cost you anything. Throw that subscribe in. But also, if that does sound interesting to you, do head on over there, because I know Amir is a top man. But Amir, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
You're too kind. You're too kind, Jackie. Take it easy, my friend, and hopefully we'll see you after the United game. Come on, you Spurs.
Yes, you will. Come on, you Spurs. You definitely will. Big up, Amir, my man. Big up. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. I mean, I would say I was holding back. I was holding back from having a big Shakhtar talk with Amir for a second. I was holding back because we were getting real close to talk about Manar Solomon for a while. But that'll do, everybody. That is the end of the fan show. I don't see anybody else coming on. It's been a bit of a short one, potentially because of Champions League, potentially, life just, being a bit kind of back to normal to a degree. But anybody who still wants to hit that link in the community section, feel free to do so. But if not, then really do appreciate everybody that's come on. Amir was absolute class. Chris was absolute class. Philip Brady, absolute class. Brad Matthews, absolute class. And then as well as Ben Kaufman, of course. I mean, the absolute GOAT himself. Really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Do hit that like while you're on your way out. Really do appreciate everybody tuning in and just, showing the support, being here for the Harris Army, being here for the Irish Hotspur, talking about this game. David will be back tomorrow, I assume. I think he is going to make a miraculous recovery like he always does. But everybody, do appreciate you tuning in for this one. Like I said, on your way out, do hit that like. And then if you have been new to the channel today, do hit that subscribe. As well as everybody, do head on over to the second channel, my channel. I did just release a video actually about maybe what 2 Degree Mono or 2 Degree, Amir and I were just talking about. We were just talking about players that we could take away from the Russian and Ukrainian league. I think there's this small window that's happening right now where actually all clubs are allowed to be able to, perhaps, do some sort of transfer dealings with Ukrainian and Russian Premier League teams. So if that sounds interesting to you, if there's some players that maybe you haven't heard of that you feel like Spurs should take a look at in those leagues, I did just release a video on that. So do head on over to that channel where I just talk about all the players that we could potentially poach away from Ukraine and Russia's Premier League. But that'll be all for now. Everybody, do really appreciate you all tuning in. Do really appreciate you all showing the support on the Irish Hotspur. We will be catching you tomorrow. As always, in Conte we trust, and come on, you Spurs.